Chapter 2296. Su Yun didn't inform Yong Qi about Gu Ming's capture. Half of the matter was already settled, and the rest wasn't something Yong Qi could handle. It was better to let her have some fun and relax for a few days. Yong Qi had already suffered too much in Hong Kong and Macau. Su Yun didn't want her to worry too much. Su Yun wanted to take on more of the burden himself and share some of Yong Qi's burden. Another reason was that Gu Ming was Yong Qi's former commanding officer. He was also a very important person to Yong Qi. Gu Ming's sudden betrayal would definitely be a huge blow to Yong Qi. Yong Qi definitely didn't want to see the person she trusted so much in the past become like this. People always change. Whether they change for the better or for the worse, it all happened in the blink of an eye. No one could predict what would happen next. Gu Ming was brought to the Three Lotus Association by Su Yun. Gu Ming didn't resist too much. He knew that it was pointless to struggle. He might as well use his strength when it was needed. Lin Suyin was quite shocked. She didn't expect to capture Gu Ming in one go. She was very excited for Su Yun. It went so smoothly. Did I see wrongly? It was settled in one go? Then it seems that the commanding officer of the Hong Kong and Macau Special Operations Department is nothing special. Gu Ming looked at Lin Suyin. I think this must be the president of the Three Lotus Association. To be able to meet you at this stage of my life, I'm really lucky. Know me? Lucky. Lin Suyin laughed. You're indeed a leader. You really know how to talk. Su Yun, listen to him. At this time, he still wants to get to know me. Should I give him this face? It's up to you. It's up to you whether you want to or not. Su Yun. If Gu Ming really wanted to trick Lin Suyin, Su Yun was sure that he would regret it. Gu Ming said, putting aside all the other messy matters, just the president's courage alone is enough to make the Three Lotus Association flourish at such a young age. That alone is enough to make me admire her greatly. At the very least, out of all the people that I, Gu Ming, have met, there are very few who are as capable as the president. As for girls, they are even rarer. That doesn't prove how powerful I am or how strong my abilities are. It only shows that you're a frog at the bottom of a well and have seen too little. Lin Suyin felt embarrassed. Unfortunately, I'm not in the mood today. I don't want to give you face. Don't say it as if we know each other. You're just a clown that I've seen before. Gu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Wasn't the president of the Three Lotus Association giving Su Yun too much face? Lin Suyin said to Su Yun, now that you've caught them, do you want me to hold a celebratory feast for you? Do you want to escort him back, or do you want the Hong Kong and Macau police to escort him personally? Miss Lin, as the leader of the Three Lotus Association, you really shouldn't be acquainted with Su Yun. Gu Ming gritted his teeth. No matter what, he couldn't just sit there and wait for his death. If you become friends with him, you'll only ruin your family. To Lin Suyin, the words broken family were absolutely taboo. She hated hearing these words the most. Slap him. Lin Suyin waved her hand and signaled her subordinates to do it. Gu Ming hurriedly said, Miss Lin, I definitely don't have any ill intentions. Everything I said was for the sake of the Three Lotus Association. It's all for your own good. We can talk about business and become friends. I can help the Three Lotus Society earn a huge sum of money, and I can also double the fame of the Three Lotus Society internationally. Slap him. What are you waiting for? Lin Suyin said casually, completely ignoring Gu Ming. The underling who walked to Gu Ming's side gave Gu Ming a heavy slap across the face, causing blood to flow from the corner of Gu Ming's mouth. Gu Ming stared coldly at the person who slapped him, gritting his teeth as he squeezed out a few words. I am a Hong Kong and Macau police officer. Do you know the consequences of hitting me? Lin Suyin spoke again. I told you to slap him. If I don't tell you to stop, don't stop. The people from the Three Lotus Association naturally listened to Lin Suyin. They followed up with a few more slaps on Gu Ming's face. Gu Ming couldn't say a word after being slapped. The Three Lotus Association has a very important rule. That is, you can't speak carelessly, especially slanderous words that go against the truth. Lin Suyin said, if you want to sow discord between the Three Lotus Association and Su Yun, I'm afraid that you've really shot yourself in the foot. Gu Ming stared at Lin Suyin in confusion. Why? Why did she trust someone like Su Yun so much? Let me tell you. Without Su Yun, the Three Lotus Association wouldn't exist today, Wu Yuandong said coldly. You've offended the wrong person. Admit it. Gu Ming looked at Su Yun in shock. As a special soldier of Hua Xia, you actually colluded with the Three Lotus Association. I'm going to sue you. Let me tell you, if I die a horrible death, you won't be able to live a comfortable life either. Where are you going to sue me? Even if you do, so what? What did the Three Lotus Association do? Did they kill someone or set them on fire? Su Yun said, I don't know what the Three Lotus Association did. I only know that the brothers of the Three Lotus Association helped me capture you, the most wanted criminal in Hong Kong and Macau. Lin Suyin was also very angry at Gu Ming's words. Tell me clearly. What do you mean by colluding with the Three Lotus Association? What shameful things has the Three Lotus Association done? I'm warning you for the last time. The Three Lotus Association is different from those organizations in Hong Kong and Macau. We have our own principles. What principles do you have? You're all shameful. Gu Ming said angrily. Continue slapping him. Once Lin Suyin's temper flared up, no one could control it. Hit him until he can't talk nonsense anymore. Slap, slap, slap. Another 2 slaps. Gu Ming's temper was completely gone. He was really convinced, completely convinced. This damn place was simply an unreasonable place. There was no room for him to speak at all. Gu Ming had no hope of saving himself now. He didn't know what else he could do to get rid of the nightmare that was Su Yun. All right, bring that sea rat out, Lin Suyin said. Lin Suyin said, let him see what kind of person this Hong Kong and Macau officer is. After Zhao Shuhai was brought out, he was dumbfounded when he saw Gu Ming. He didn't expect Gu Ming to be so weak. It only took half a day for him to be captured. If I knew you would betray me, I would have installed a time bomb on the ship and let you die with that bastard. Gu Ming sneered. What a piece of trash. Zhao Shuhai was already very uncomfortable and unhappy. Now that Gu Ming pointed at him in public, he became angry. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be in this situation today. I'll remember you. Even if I become a ghost, I won't let you go. You become a ghost? Humph. I'm afraid you're no match for me. Gu Ming said disapprovingly, you bastard, your mouth is really loose. You even revealed that I went to Fisherman Street. Zhao Shuhai said, I didn't know you were at Fisherman Street, but you stayed there for a month a year ago. Others may not know, but I know very well. In fact, Gu Ming knew so much about the situation and environment of Fisherman Street because he had come here to inspect a year ago. He found someone to make a fake case for himself and then applied for a month's sick leave. Everyone thought he went to see a doctor to recuperate. In fact, he lived in Fisherman Street for a month and explored a lot of the situation here. Although the current Fisherman Street was slightly different from the previous day, these changes were all illegal buildings built randomly. The road was still the same. This time, after arriving at Taiwan, he immediately went to the place on Fisherman Street that he had already set his sights on. He thought that his actions were flawless and that no one would find him. As long as he could endure for a week, everything would calm down after the storm had passed. The Hong Kong and Macau police didn't have the ability to find him within a week, so Gu Ming was very relaxed after making the decision. He didn't think about what would happen if he was caught. Who would have thought that Su Yun would be able to react so quickly, track down his whereabouts so quickly, and even find him hiding in Fisherman Street? All this made Gu Ming feel like he was dreaming. Chapter 2297. Remember this. Sooner or later, I'll make you regret betraying me. Gu Ming glared at Zhao Shuhai angrily. I told you to take the money and get lost. You didn't listen. You even came back to Taiwan. You damn thing. Boss Gu, you can't even protect yourself. You still have the mood to blame me? Zhao Shuhai said coldly. You're really interesting. Save it. I've been harmed by you. I haven't even found trouble with you, but you're challenging me first. Is it interesting? Gu Ming scolded unhappily in his heart. Trash. Just wait for the Hong Kong and Macau police to convict you. You'll never be free in this lifetime. Zhao Shuhai was already very patient, but Gu Ming was so aggressive. I'll take the initiative to tell you everything. I'll definitely reduce your sentence as soon as possible. But I'm afraid you won't be so lucky. Department Head Gu, I'll wait for you to come and find me after you become a ghost. Let's see if your ghost life is bigger or my life is bigger. Trash. Gu Ming scolded again. Zhao Shuhai couldn't take it anymore and scolded back. You're the trash. Su Yun smiled and looked at the two of them. I didn't see wrongly, right? 2 days ago, you were still close partners. You trusted each other and even helped each other to kill people. Now you're biting each other like dogs? It seems like money isn't a good thing to maintain a trusting relationship. Su Yun, don't waste your breath. It's my bad luck to fall into your hands. Gu Ming said. But if you really want to mess with me, you'll have to know the power of the Ebola virus weapon. I won't hide it from you. The lives of the entire Taiwan island are in your hands. If you dare to do anything to me, everyone in Taiwan can forget about living. Lin Suyin sneered. Shameless boasting. You're already in our hands. What can you do? What can I do? You can ask your Su Yun. Gu Ming said to Lin Suyin. You can ask him what he dares to do to me. If he has the guts, kill me now. Ha 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 ha, I'll make you all live in fear forever. You don't know when Taiwan Island will be finished. You're full of nonsense. Beat him. Continue fighting. Lin Suyin couldn't stand threats the most. After a few more slaps, Gu Ming had no choice but to shut his mouth. However, Su Yun could tell that he was not convinced. Minister Gu, I know. In the past, you've always been the one trying to get information out of people. You have a lot of tricks up your sleeves, so I won't show off in front of an expert. Su Yun said, but don't worry, I'll find out who you're dealing with. Gu Ming said, I don't even know who I'm going to trade with. How could you possibly know? You really know how to joke. Let's just wait. Alright, let's wait. Su Yun, I'm just worried that your food won't be too good. I heard that the chefs of the Three Lotus Association aren't very good. You'll have to bear with it. Gu Ming said, you should know the consequences of my death better than anyone else. Don't threaten me. Threats are meaningless to me. Suyin, I'll leave these two people to you. If you want to give them something to eat or drink, just throw them something. If you don't want to, then forget it. I'm fine with it. Su Yun, the entire Taiwan is only so big. I don't believe that things can be hidden in the King of Hell's palace. Gu Ming gritted his teeth. Although he was confident that the things were relatively safe, he was still uneasy. What if Su Yun found them? If it really came to that, he would have no bargaining chips left. He could only be at the mercy of others. Lock them up and keep an eye on them. Lin Suyin said, these are distinguished guests. Everyone, listen up. Without my orders, no one is allowed to get close to the two of them. Then when are we going to deliver food to them? Someone asked. Lin Suyin smiled. Didn't Su Yun just say that I can do whatever I want? It depends on my mood. If I'm in the mood, anything is fine. If not, let them starve. Remember to report to me immediately if there's anything. After everything was arranged, everyone left, leaving behind the two imprisoned fellows who were ashamed and angry. Neither of them was willing to submit to the other. Because of Gu Ming's arrival, Zhao Shuhai did not even have a bite to eat. Zhao Shuhai kept complaining and blamed all his unhappiness on Gu Ming. Gu Ming was even more resentful towards Zhao Shuhai. If it were not for Zhao Shuhai, he would not have been brought to this godforsaken place by Su Yun. In short, the two of them did not get along at all. Fortunately, they were not locked in the same cell. Otherwise, one of them would definitely die. If Zhao Shuhai died, it would not matter. However, if the one who died was Gu Ming, it would be a little troublesome. Gu Ming, because of you bastard, I can't even eat dinner. Zhao Shuhai scolded. People like you should die early to avoid harming others. Gu Ming ignored Zhao Shuhai. He did not believe that Su Yun would dare to starve him to death. However, for the next 2 days, no one sent them a bite of food. If there was no food, they could still endure it. However, the two of them did not even have a sip of water to drink. No matter how angry they were, the person in charge of looking after them was indifferent. Gu Ming even pretended to be dead to attract the person in charge. After lying down for more than an hour, the person did not even look at him. It was as if he did not believe that he would starve to death so quickly. If this continued, he would really die. Gu Ming did not expect the person to provide him with good food and water, but at least give him some water and dry food so that he would not end up in a field where he would starve to death. This Su Yun really knew how to play. Gu Ming was really convinced by Su Yun. Su Yun knew that any kind of interrogation would be useless against him, so he came up with this method that was even more torturous than an eagle. This was definitely a good way to break down a person's mental defenses. If it was not because Gu Ming's mental endurance was strong enough, he would have already broken down like Zhao Shuhai. The only thing Zhao Shuhai could do now was to beg. He begged Su Yun to let him go, begged Lin Suyin to give him a chance, begged these people to give him a sip of water and a mouthful of food. He was in a state of mental breakdown. The feeling of not drinking water for 2 days was really scary. If Zhao Shuhai didn't have any water to drink, he would really have to drink his own beer. These days, he had been taking care of it. He was a person who was prepared for anything. Gu Ming did not think about this. Gu Ming still felt that Su Yun would not dare to treat him like this. However, on the 3rd day, Gu Ming realized what it meant to break down. Zhao Shuhai more or less still had some food. Although it was a little disgusting to drink, it could still save lives. Gu Ming could not even pee. I want to see your miss. I have something to say to your Mississippi, Gu Ming said to the people outside. You can't afford to delay. If you want to eat and drink, do you have to beat around the bush? The person watching over them said, as long as you say what Brother Yun wants you to say, you will be served a Manchu Han imperial feast tonight. I only want to talk to your president, Gu Ming said. The person watching over them waved his hand. Is the president someone you can see just because you want to? Do you really think you are someone important? Once the person watching over them left, Gu Ming completely lost his temper. You can't afford to delay. The one who can't afford to delay is you. What does it have to do with us? Just stay here by yourself. If you can't think clearly, then continue to think. Brother Yun said that he has plenty of time to play with you. You can delay for as long as you want. He said that it's up to you. You can talk whenever you want. He's not in a hurry. Another day passed, and Gu Ming realized that Su Yun was really playing hard on them this time. Zhao Shuhai was so implicated that he could only vent his anger. He did not even have the energy to scold Gu Ming. He really did not know why he was so unlucky. It was not like he did not report it. Why did he have to be punished together with Gu Ming? On the 4th day, the two of them could only rely on their mental strength to survive. The feeling of living was worse than death. Finally, Lin Suyin came in front of the two of them. Gu Ming did not have the energy from a few days ago. He wanted to say something, but he kept his mouth shut. He did not want to waste his energy. Zhao Shuhai, are you hungry? Lin Suyin suddenly threw a bottle of mineral water to Zhao Shuhai. Zhao Shuhai was even more excited than a greedy person who received gold. He used the last of his strength to rush over and drink the entire bottle of water in one go. At this time, Lin Suyin clapped her hands again. Fragrant oyster omelette, rice soup noodles, pan-fried buns, squid soup, danzi noodles. All of them were pushed to the front of the room where Zhao Shuhai was being held. These were all made by Lin Suyin's star chef. Although they were simple snacks, they were definitely not comparable to those sold at stalls outside. Chapter 2298. When Zhao Shuhai saw the food and smelled the aroma, he almost ran out. Now, as long as he was given food, he would agree to anything. Do you want to eat? Are you hungry? You seem to be doing well these few days. Lin Suyin said, Eat. Zhao Shuhai, who was full, almost ate the entire bowl into his stomach. This feeling was as if he had returned to the human world from hell. Lin Suyin asked someone to send a carton of mineral water to Zhao Shuhai's room. As Zhao Shuhai and Gu Ming's rooms were separated by iron bars, Gu Ming could see everything clearly. This place used by the Three Lotus Association to punish members who broke the rules, so it was designed like a prison, a solitary confinement room, or a row of open offices. The only difference was that there were iron bars separating the two rooms. Miss President, there's no need to go to such extremes. Gu Ming was already weak. Seeing Zhao Shuhai wolfing down the food, his hunger grew stronger. Lin Suyin was slightly startled. I'm just showing concern for our own people. What does it have to do with you? Zhao Shuhai is a bit of a jerk, and I have no intention of covering for him. However, since he's a gay, I'll let him eat a full meal as a token of my appreciation on behalf of the Three Lotus Association. What does it have to do with you? Gu Ming said, Aren't you trying to use this method to provoke me? Su Yun is really despicable. He can think of anything. Everyone knows who's despicable, Lin Suyin said. Lin Suyin said, You made use of Su Yun to go undercover in the Hongdong society and sacrificed so many of your subordinates just to get what you want. Who can be more despicable than you, Gu Ming? Gu Ming had nothing to say. He forcefully suppressed the urgent need for food and water in his heart and sank into silence without saying a word. Lin Suyin did not waste her breath. Zhao Shuhai would take care of the rest. She did not need to waste any more energy. Zhao Shuhai, drink as much as you want. I'll get someone to send you a carton every day. Zhao Shuhai almost knelt down in front of Lin Suyin. This kind of kindness was not something that could be thanked with just a few words. After saying that, Lin Suyin turned around and left. Everything returned to normal. See, Rat, it's fate that we know each other. I don't ask for you to stop complaining about me. I only ask for a bottle of water. When I have the chance to leave this place, I will definitely repay you. Seeing that Lin Suyin had left, Gu Ming set his sights on Zhao Shuhai. Zhao Shuhai had eaten a full meal for the past 4 days, and only then did he have water to drink. He had been drinking urine for 2 days. This kind of inhumane life was all Gu Ming's fault. I only have this water. If I give it to you, what will I drink? Zhao Shuhai sneered. He never thought that there would be a day when Gu Ming would beg him like this. Gu Ming said, They send you a box every day. You can't finish it at all. If you share some with me now, you will be my savior. When I get out, I will do great things. After I succeed, I guarantee you a mountain of gold and silver, rich and glorious. Stop dreaming. Get out. Zhao Shuhai said, If you have the ability to get out, you won't be locked up here for 4 days, right? Even if I can't get out, we are not strangers who met by chance. We have cooperated before. A bottle of water should be enough, right? Gu Ming said. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have F*King fallen to this point. What bullsh*T relationship do I have with you? A bottle of water? Not even a drop of water. Zhao Shuhai's hatred for Gu Ming had already eroded his entire brain. Gu Ming sneered. Then have you ever thought that they would be so kind? Would they give you a box of water for free? It is very likely that you can't finish it. They will treat you in a more harsh way. I can't finish it? You will help me? Zhao Shuhai sneered. Sorry, I don't need it. If I can't finish it, I can use it to wash my hands, face, or even take a bath. What does it have to do with you? I'd rather be drowned than die of thirst. You win. Gu Ming said, Don't give me a chance to get out. Otherwise, I won't let you go. Zhao Shuhai had already given up on the idea of escaping. Stop daydreaming. You will die how you want to die. I killed someone because of you. I won't have a good ending. What's the point of threatening me? Gu Ming looked up at the dark ceiling. Could it be that he really admitted defeat like this? But he really didn't want to. Yang Qi went to all the famous historical sites and attractions in Taiwan under the guidance of the tour guide. She really didn't gain anything. For her, it was like she was really on a tour. She finally couldn't continue to swim and wanted to come back no matter what. However, after returning to the Sanlian Association in Taipei, she found out that Gu Ming had been caught for 4 days. God. Su Yun, this guy, is really good at enduring. He never told me the truth. However, Yang Qi's mood became much better. As long as she could catch him, it was much better than anything else. But the problem now was that they couldn't find the thing. No one knew where Gu Ming had hidden it. Gu Ming had been starving for 4 days, yet he still refused to say a word. This was a challenge for Su Yun and the others. Of course, they had to be more ruthless when dealing with people like Gu Ming. But if he really starved to death, they would really be in trouble. Now that Su Yun had already embarked on this path, there was no way he could change it. If Gu Ming was given a chance to breathe, he would know better that they wouldn't dare do anything to him. By then, it would be even more difficult for Su Yun to get anything out of him. There were only 2 options now. The first was to force Gu Ming to tell them where Arbola was hidden, and the second was to starve him to death. Gu Ming refused to say anything now because there was nothing that could completely provoke him. If there was one thing that could completely provoke him, it might be able to change the current situation. Just when everyone was at their wits' end, there was finally a change. Lin Suyin brought back a piece of news. It was said that a rich businessman from the mainland had come to Taiwan in the past 2 days. To the people of Taiwan, he was definitely a respectable person who invested in all kinds of projects, construction, and charity. However, those who truly understood Taiwan Island knew that he was only there for one purpose: to launder money. Therefore, the respectable people of Taiwan liked to work with him, as it was a win-win situation. This time, however, this person came to Taiwan without any projects. It seemed that he was just there to have fun. This was definitely not his style of doing things, so Lin Suyin was puzzled at first. Then, Lin Suyin arranged for someone to follow up on this matter and found that for the past 2 days, the rich businessman from the mainland had been going to Fisherman Street. So much so that there were rumors in Taiwan that the rich businessman was going to invest in renovating Fisherman Street. He was going to demolish and rebuild Fisherman Street, turning it into a beautiful tourist spot and high-end coastal commercial housing area. Obviously, this rumor was only spread by the poor. The rich knew that it was impossible. Even if the rich businessman was rich, he wouldn't be stupid enough to make this kind of investment without any returns. The land in Fisherman Street had already been explored and wasn't suitable for building high-rise residential buildings. There were many residents in Fisherman Street, and there were many places that were built randomly. If they wanted to demolish it, they would have to spend a lot of money to subsidize these local unruly people. Moreover, these local unruly people also knew that there were many places on the mainland where they could rely on the demolition money to become rich, so they would definitely demand an exorbitant price. Therefore, only a fool would do any construction project in this place. No matter where it was, a fool couldn't become rich. The rich who became rich had a shrewd mind. Therefore, this kind of logic that ordinary people could understand, of course, the rich wouldn't be unable to understand. Lin Suyin could understand this rumor at a glance. In that case, this person would always go to Fisherman Street, which would naturally arouse Lin Suyin's suspicion. After all, Gu Ming was caught at Fisherman Street, so she would definitely explain the situation to Su Yun. After some analysis, Su Yun also realized that this matter was a bit strange. No matter what the hindrance was, there was a problem. If this person was Gu Ming's transaction partner, then it could be easily explained why he always went to Fisherman Street. Chapter 2299. Things would be much simpler as long as they tested if the other party was going to meet them. If he could catch such a big fish, wouldn't things be even better? Suyin, are you sure your information is reliable? If it's reliable, contact the other party. I think that if the Three Lotus Society is willing to give them face, and the other party often comes to Taiwan to do business, they definitely won't reject your invitation. Su-yun, let's find out the truth first. I understand what you mean. Lin Suyin nodded and used the excuse of business to contact the other party. Although the other party had rejected many invitations in the past 2 days, Lin Suyin was still confident that she could solve this problem. This person came to Taiwan many times and never had the chance to meet the Three Lotus Society. Although his purpose this time wasn't here, if the Three Lotus Society was willing to meet him, she believed that the other party would be happy to meet. If he didn't even give face to the Three Lotus Society, he probably wouldn't want to do business in Taiwan in the future. Su-yun, I really want to see what kind of person this mainland tycoon is. His name is Chow Kai-yu. I heard that he made his fortune from coal mining in Huaxia. Later, he caught up with the golden period of real estate and made a lot of money. Lin Suyin said, but then he withdrew from the real estate business and started doing some illusory things like investment and financial management. As for where he invested his money, no one really knows. He's probably trying to sell dog meat under false pretenses. I'm afraid that the way he earns his money is not clean. We'll know when we meet him. Su-yun, I'll get someone to arrange this matter now. Lin Suyin said, he probably won't reject the Three Lotus Society's invitation so easily. Su-yun nodded. He would wait and see. On the other side, Zhao Shuhai, who was so extravagant that he washed his toes with mineral water, was a stark contrast to Gu Ming. Gu Ming, who was barely breathing, didn't know if he could hold on. In the end, Zhao Shuhai couldn't hold back and threw a bottle of mineral water to Gu Ming. You better not die here so early. I don't want to smell the stench of a corpse. Although these words were unpleasant, Gu Ming was still grateful. He used the last of his strength to crawl over and drink this life-saving bottle of water. This bottle of water was definitely enough to prolong Gu Ming's life. Otherwise, he would have died from dehydration. That's very kind of you. Gu Ming could finally speak again. His whole mouth was dry and cracked. One bottle of water was obviously not enough. The greed of man was always insatiable. Brother, can you give me another bottle? That's enough. Don't be so arrogant just because I'm giving you face, Zhao Shuhai said. I've already given you enough face by giving you a bottle. I just don't want you to die here and disgust me. Do you really think I'm Guanyin Bodhisattva who's here to save you? Gu Ming laughed bitterly. Forget it, it was fine if he didn't give it to him. Anyway, he didn't really expect the other party to treat him as a friend. The water that could prolong his life reignited his hope. As long as Zhao Shuhai gave him a bottle of water every day, he could at least live for another 10 days, right? Only by surviving could things take a turn for the better. Only by surviving could there be hope. However, these hopes and illusions were like bubbles that instantly turned into nothingness. You're really generous. Do you think you have too much water? Giving him points. Don't expect anyone to give you water in the future. This sentence was like a bolt of lightning that fell on Zhao Shuhai's head. He didn't expect that his actions would lead to such a punishment. He was supposed to have enough to eat and drink. In an instant, he fell to the bottom of the valley. Zhao Shuhai didn't blame others. He only blamed himself for being cheap. Why did he have to give him that bottle of water? You won't die if you don't seek death. Gu Ming was also stunned. If Zhao Shuhai ran out of water, it meant that the other party wouldn't give him any more. He had only drunk 1 bottle of water for the past 4 days. It would be good enough if this little bit of water could last him until tomorrow. If he didn't get any water tomorrow, he would fall back into that half-dead state again. Those who deserve to die will die sooner or later, Zhao Shuhai said coldly. Gu Ming finally couldn't take it anymore. I want to see Su-yun. Go find him and tell him that I want to see him. I have something to tell him. Have you thought it through? The guard outside the door said, if you knew this would happen, you wouldn't have done it in the first place. After suffering for so many days, shouldn't you tell him everything in the end? Zhao Shuhai also heaved a sigh of relief. You should have said it earlier. Then I wouldn't have to suffer with you. Gu Ming closed his eyes tightly. Was he really going to accept his fate? However, Gu Ming didn't have the chance to do so now. Su Yun didn't come back to see him. Instead, he sent someone to pass him a message. Brother Yun said that he has found the item. He will meet with the person who made the deal with you tonight. Just wait for the good news. Impossible. Gu Ming's eyes widened. He can't have found it. It's absolutely impossible. It's not up to you whether it's possible or not. Just wait. If you don't die, it means you're lucky. If you starve to death here, the Three Lotus Association will have a place to bury you. This sentence was a fatal blow to Gu Ming. If Su Yun had found the Ebola virus weapon, then his life wouldn't matter anymore. That's absolutely impossible. Don't try to lie to me. Only I know where the item is hidden. No one can find it. It's absolutely impossible. Gu Ming lost control of his emotions. What do you mean by meeting with the person who made the deal with me? Ha ha ha. What a joke. Do you know where I will meet with the person who made the deal with me? Brother Yun and the rest have already met with the person who made the deal at Fisherman Street. The person said, "Don't be crazy. Save your energy. Do you think Zhao Shuhai will still give you his water?" When Zhao Shuhai heard that, he quickly took the water to a corner. He was indeed too extravagant today. There were only 24 bottles of water in a box. He had already wasted 10 bottles. Now that he had left, he had to save some of it. It was impossible for him to return it to Gu Ming. Gu Ming's head was buzzing. He was in a mess. Could it be that Su Yun really found some clues at Fisherman Street? That's why he met with the person who made the deal there? What exactly happened outside? Gu Ming was dying to know. However, it was absolutely impossible for anyone to tell him the news. This was what made Gu Ming feel the most uncomfortable. What happened? He, the most important person involved, was actually thrown to a corner that was forgotten by others? How did things become like this in just 4 days? In just 4 days, he was already neither human nor ghost. How long would this situation last? You tell Su Yun. I want to see him. I want to see him now. Gu Ming screamed hysterically. Didn't I just say that Brother Yun doesn't want to see you because you are no longer of any value? The person said, a person who is no longer of any value wants to talk about conditions and make requests? You really don't know how to appreciate favors. When you are useful, you act all high and mighty. Now that you are useless, it's too late. No one wants to hear what you say. It can't be. It can't be. Gu Ming's mind was almost going crazy. Zhao Shuhai was stunned. You didn't drive him crazy, right? Whether he is crazy or not, it has nothing to do with us. The person in charge of guarding them ignored the two of them after he finished speaking, leaving Gu Ming alone to scream hysterically. Zhao Shuhai hid as far away as he could. He was afraid that this crazy disease would be contagious. A few days ago, he was still a person who thought he was extraordinary. Now, he was reduced to such a state. It was really intoxicating. Zhao Shuhai was now thinking about when he could give him a sentence. It was better for him to plead guilty than to stay in this place, right? Lin Suyin used a very short time to arrange a meeting with Chao Kaiyu. They made an appointment to meet at 6:30 p.m. at a very high-end private club. People who were too gay knew the reputation of the Elegant Pavilion Private Club. It was really not a place that ordinary people could enter. The annual fee of this club was not a small amount. The consumption inside was naturally not simple. Ordinary people couldn't enter this place at all. Even if they were rich, they might not have the connections to get a VIP card. Choosing such a place showed that Lin Suyin and Chao Kaiyu were both people with extraordinary identities and were frequent guests here. Chapter 2300. The environment of Confucian Pavilion lived up to its name. Perhaps the boss admired the aura of Confucianism too much, so the entire clubhouse was filled with the aura of Confucianism that could only be felt in the land of Confucius. As the saying goes, friends come from afar, as long as one is not alone, there must be neighbors. Su Yun looked up and saw such embossed words of the Analects of Confucius everywhere. This place was indeed worthy of the word Confucian. Of course, the word Confucian was reflected in Confucianism, but the word elegance was not reflected in the coffee. The entire clubhouse was filled with the fragrance of tea. People with real taste in life in Huaxia would not come out with a cup of cat poop coffee to show off. They drank tea leaves that cost tens of thousands of yuan per catty or a few taels, or even more expensive. 500 grams of Westlake Longjing head tea was sold at a sky-high price of 180,000 yuan at the pre-sale auction. A 100 grams of Shenyang Maojian tea called Daki was sold for 26,800 yuan. 50 grams of Old Pu'er tea could be sold for 138,000 yuan. A tube of Fuanchang Blue Inner Flying Round tea could be sold for 5,040,000 yuan. This was enough to buy a 100 square meter mansion in the most expensive city in the world. The people here really know how to enjoy themselves. Su Yun, I didn't expect there to be such a place in Taiwan that worships Confucianism. Why didn't you bring me here earlier to play? Lin Suyin looked at Su Yun in disbelief. You worship Confucianism? I didn't see it. I thought you wouldn't be interested in such a place, so I didn't bring you here to play. Don't you think this place is too solemn and oppressive? What's oppressive about this? Su Yun, the essence of Confucianism is benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, and trust. Don't do to others what you don't want done to yourself. People who want to stand up should stand up. People who want to reach should become great. What's so oppressive about this place? It should be more comfortable. I didn't see it. You're a top student? Lin Suyin said, let me tell you, I really did study at a Confucius Institute. If there really is a Confucius Institute, it should be set up in Xiufu, the hometown of Confucius. Those Confucius Institutes outside are all nonsense. Su Yun, do you know what an apricot altar is? It was located in the middle of the palace hall, with double eaves, 8 caisson wells used for the interior, yellow-colored glaze on the roof tiles, and golden dragons and seals used for the colored paintings. Listening to Confucian culture in that place is what you call a true baptism. Lin Suyin pouted. You speak as if you're from that place. I really am from that place. Su Yun said, although I didn't grow up there, I have to understand the culture there. Then we really didn't choose the wrong place today. You can explain to Chow Kai-yu what the real Confucian culture is. He will definitely look at you differently. Lin Suyin said, I heard that Chow Kai-yu admires Confucian culture very much. Su Yun said disdainfully, how can there be such scum among those who worship Confucian culture? Don't joke around. At most, he's using this as a cover to cheat money, right? Your guess is quite accurate. I heard that he even set up some Confucian business association and used the reputation of a Confucian businessman to raise funds. As for what exactly he did, no one knows. Lin Suyin said, but you must be clear about what you're here for today. You're not here to undermine him. Don't be so disrespectful. I understand. Su Yun nodded. I will definitely give him enough face. Just as the two were talking, Chow Kai-yu finally appeared. He looked to be in his early 40s, but he looked very energetic, giving people the feeling that he was in his 30s. He was dressed in a tang suit and wore the most ordinary black cloth shoes. In his hand, he was playing with a string of Taihang Mountain's Millennium Cliff beads. This was the best of the best, not the kind of things that could be sold online for a few thousand yuan. In today's society where people played with red sandalwood and Vajra beads, there were not many people who played with cliff beads. There were also not many people who understood cliff beads. Chow Kai-yu didn't make a bunch of great Vajra Bodhi that could show his noble status at first glance. Instead, he played with a bunch of cliff bodhisattvas that many people wouldn't be surprised to see. Obviously, he wanted to show that he was different from others. This was indeed very different. One could feel that he was not ordinary at a glance. Ha ha ha, I've been here too many times. I've always wanted to get to know President Lin of the Three Lotus Association. I didn't expect President Lin to be so young and beautiful. I'm so captivating, Chow Kai-yu greeted Lin Suyin when he saw her from afar. Although it was his first time meeting Lin Suyin, he had heard and seen news about her before. Of course, he could recognize her. Lin Suyin smiled and said gracefully, "Boss Chow really knows how to talk. You're also much younger and more handsome than I thought." President Lin, for you to say that, I'm really relying on your priceless advice. Chow Kai-yu said, "Let's go in and have a seat. Try the tea leaves I brought from the mainland. They are definitely not inferior to the top-grade tea leaves in the Confucian Pavilion." It was obvious that Chow Kai-yu attached great importance to getting to know the Three Lotus Association. He even brought the top-grade De Hong Pao that he bought at a high price from the auction. "Boss Chow is really too polite," Lin Suyin said. "I'm so embarrassed." "You're too polite." Chow Kai-yu was the kind of person who would not leave a bad impression on others. It seemed like he was really an easy business partner. After the few of them arrived at the private room, Chow Kai-yu asked his subordinates to take away the tea leaves to brew. Seeing that Su Yun and Wu Yuandong had also come in with Lin Suyin, Chow Kai-yu asked curiously, "President Lin, I wonder who is your right-hand man?" "Wu Yuandong. President Wu?" "It seems that Boss Chow is very clear about my situation." Lin Suyin smiled faintly. "Then guess who they are." Chow Kai-yu shook his head. "I can't guess. It's definitely not because I did any research on President Lin. It's just that the Three Lotus Association is so famous that it's hard for ordinary people not to know about it. President Wu's reputation is also very good. If I say that I don't know, then I'd be going against the gentleman's conduct. As Confucius said, what you know is what you know, what you don't know is what you don't know." Boss Chow is so knowledgeable about Confucian culture. "You are indeed a refined businessman," Su Yun said as he pointed at Wu Yuandong. "This is our Three Lotus Association's President Wu." "Nice to meet you." Although Chow Kai-yu was speaking to Wu Yuandong, his thoughts had already shifted to Su Yun. He had never heard of the Three Lotus Association having a third president. Moreover, this fellow looked somewhat familiar to him. Chow Kai-yu nodded. Wu Yuandong also replied, "I've heard a lot about you. I wonder what kind of investment Boss Chow is going to make in Taiwan this time." Lin Suyin smiled slightly. "I heard a very laughable rumor." Chow Kai-yu was startled. "Don't tell me that all I did was take a walk at Fisherman Street and the people of Taiwan thought that I would invest in that place? That's really too laughable." "Yes, it is indeed too laughable." Lin Suyin said, "How could anyone invest in that place unless they were crazy?" Then, Lin Suyin's tone changed. "However, there's something I don't quite understand. Boss Chow is not someone who wastes time. If Fisherman Street did not have the benefits you wanted, you wouldn't have gone there twice, right?" Chow Kai-yu took a sip of tea and looked at Lin Suyin with a smile. "Miss Lin, you are indeed exceptionally intelligent. However, this is a private matter. Hee, please forgive me for not being able to answer." "Boss Chow, I am not trying to pry into your private matters," Lin Suyin said. "Fisherman Street is a barren place with many unruly people. If Boss Chow needs my help in that place, the Three Lotus Association will definitely cooperate fully. Consider this a meeting gift from me to Boss Chow. As for what Boss Chow wants to do, I don't care if you tell me or not." Chow Kai-yu looked at Lin Suyin. For a young girl to have such courage, it was truly admirable. Even he did not have such courage when he was young. "Then, I thank Miss Lin for taking care of me." Chow Kai-yu said, "To be able to get to know Miss Lin in Taiwan is my good fortune of 3 lifetimes. If I were 20 years younger, I would definitely pursue Miss Lin with all my might. Ha ha ha, Miss Lin is truly a goddess in my eyes. This old thing is quite good at coaxing girls. He doesn't even blush when saying those words. His skin is really thick." Chapter 2301. Boss Chow, you sure know how to joke. Lin Suyin was disgusted by the words of such an old fox. He already had a wife and a child. She guessed that the child at home was about the same age as her. How could he say such words? This kind of man was really outrageous. Chow Kai-yu smiled. This is not a joke. It's because young Lady Lin's charm is great. Otherwise, how could there be so many young talents willing to surround young Lady Lin and serve her at her beck and call, even willing to sacrifice their lives for her? After saying that, Chow Kai-yu's gaze fell upon Su-yun. Brother, may I know which hall master of the Three Lotus Association you are? He is not our hall master, said Wu Yuandong. He is just a friend of our association's young Mississippi. Oh? A friend. He. To be able to meet me together with the young miss of the Three Lotus Association, he must not be an ordinary friend, said Chow Kai-yu. Su-yun smiled and said, It's just a coincidence. I am also doing business in the mainland. I heard that there is a famous Confucian merchant in Taiwan. It would be a pity if I did not come to meet him. Hearing that, Chow Kai-yu's smile became even more meaningful. In that case, we are all family. Ha ha ha. I, Chow Kai-yu, love making friends the most. I have friends all over the country. My friends all call me Lord Chow. May I know where you are doing business? It's not worth mentioning, said Su-yun coolly. He is no longer doing business in the mainland. He has moved to Hong Kong and Macau. I believe Boss Chow has not heard of him. Lin Suyin said, Boss Chow, can't you tell me about the Fisherman's Street? Do you not believe in the Three Lotus Association's strength? I wouldn't dare. No one in Taiwan who doesn't believe in the Three Lotus Association's strength has yet to be born. Chow Kai-yu was very good with words. I was just curious about the lives of the people in the Fisherman's Street. That's why I went there to take a look. Then, did Lord Chow notice anything? Do you have any insights? Tell us about them, said Su-yun with a smile. Chow Kai-yu nodded and said, Of course, I have some insights. Although the people of Fisherman Street don't live well, they still care about each other. Neighbors also help each other. This kind of feeling is very good. Su-yun said, Then I wonder if Fifth Master Chow met the person he wanted to see? What do you mean? Chow Kai-yu was stunned and looked at Su-yun with some puzzlement. Lin Suyin also said, Boss Chow, I heard that you didn't plan to do anything after coming to Taiwan this time. You just came out to have fun. But I heard that that's not the case. You're going to the Fisherman's Street to meet someone and make a deal, right? Chow Kai-yu's expression had already changed. His previous cheerful and witty manner was gone, leaving only embarrassment and anger. Miss Lin, why did you invite me here? I'm afraid it's not as simple as drinking tea and eating, right? Of course, it's not as simple as drinking tea and eating. Wu Yuandong said, If there's money, everyone should earn it together. I'm sure Boss Chow understands this simple logic. After all, this is the Three Lotus Association's territory. If Boss Chow wants to do big business in Taiwan, I'm afraid you'll have to go through the Three Lotus Association. Humph. Looks like they've set up a trap for me today, Chow Kai-yu said coldly. If that's the case, then forgive me for not being in the mood to disturb you. Su-yun didn't stop Chow Kai-yu. Boss Chow, you won't be able to meet the person you want to see at the Fisherman's Street. The Three Lotus Association has already taken over the business. I don't understand what you're talking about. Chow Kai-yu was running out of patience. Do you think that the Three Lotuses Union wouldn't interfere with such a big business happening in the Two Crooked Territory? Su-yun said, We took the initiative to ask Boss Chow out to talk about business because we want to cooperate. If Boss Chow isn't willing to cooperate, there are plenty of people who want to cooperate with us. Boss Chow, have I made myself clear enough? Chow Kai-yu was stunned. That sounded quite reasonable. Besides, the other party really didn't have any ill intentions. What does the Three Lotus Association know? Chow Kai-yu asked. What deal do I want to make? Do you know more about it than I do? Didn't Boss Chow just say that what you know is what you know, and what you don't know is what you don't know? Su-yun said, The Three Lotus Society isn't one of those petty little societies. They wouldn't spend so much effort to meet with Fifth Master Chow. It's just a joke that's over the top. Am I right? Chow Kaiyu's expression was quite serious. He thought carefully for a while before finally saying, "It seems that the Three Lotus Association is very sincere. However, I don't know if this sincerity is real or fake. If it is, shouldn't you bring out something to prove your sincerity now?" Su Yun laughed. "That's not something you can bring out casually. Boss Chow is too good at joking. Since you can't bring out anything to prove your sincerity, I'm afraid I don't know if I should trust you." Chow Kaiyu wasn't joking at all. Lin Suin finally said, "All right, then Boss Chow can wait patiently. You can continue to go to Fisherman's Street. However, as a friend, I want to remind you that you won't gain anything by going to Fisherman's Street. As I said earlier, the Three Lotus Association has already taken over this matter. The other party also wants to make a safe deal with you. Entrusting the matter to the Three Lotus Association is the only right choice." Chow Kaiyu's heart skipped a beat. No, such an important thing wouldn't be traded on behalf of others. It definitely wouldn't be like this. No matter what, I believe that Boss Chow already has an answer in his heart. Su Yun said, "Then give Boss Chow some time to think about it. You can go to Fisherman's Street and wait. We have plenty of time. However, let's put it this way. Boss Chow, you may think that you're the only one making the deal, but I can tell you very clearly that it's not what you think. You're not the only one making the deal. We won't waste all our time on you." Chow Kaiyu was stunned. He wanted to say something, but he didn't know what to say. "Let's not make things difficult for Boss Chow," Lin Suin said. "After all, it's such a big deal. It's understandable that you have some misgivings. If Boss Chow isn't willing to do this business, there's no need for us to force you." Wu Yuandong glanced at Chow Kaiyu. "Boss Chow, we're talking about cooperation with you because we think highly of your strength. We'll take our leave first. Take your time to think about it. Let's go. Don't disturb Boss Chow." Su Yun was the first to turn and leave. "Wait a moment." Chow Kaiyu finally couldn't help but ask, "I want to know, what are the rules of the Three Lotus Association?" "Boss Chow isn't worried about money, is he?" Lin Suin said, "I heard that you're the president of the Confucian Merchant Association. Could it be that the Grand President of the Confucian Merchant Association is also short on money?" Chow Kaiyu said, "Money doesn't just grow legs and run into my pocket. I'm also a hard-working person. It's only right to ask about the rules." Boss Chow doesn't have to worry about that at all. The Three Lotus Association's rules are negotiated with the seller. You're still the one who agreed on the price. We won't ask you to pay for the tea." Lin Suin said, "Boss Chow, think about it carefully." After Lin Suin turned and left, everyone from the Three Lotus Association turned and left as well. Chow Kaiyu had to deal with the sky-high price of a pot of tea all by himself. Even now, he still hadn't figured out what was going on. The Three Lotus Association's sudden intervention had caught him off guard. He didn't understand what was going on, nor did he understand what was going on. "Boss Chow, what should we do now?" Chow Kaiyu's trusted subordinate was also confused by today's events. Chow Kaiyu frowned. "You're asking me, but who am I supposed to ask? The Three Lotus Association has been vague about everything that happened today. We can't be anxious. Let's calm down and see what happens. We can't stop what's going to happen. We can't force what's not going to happen either. Boss Chow is so thoughtful. Should I arrange for a few brothers to follow them and find out what's going on?" Chow Kaiyu glared at him. "Where do you think this is? This place is too crooked. It's the Three Lotus Association's territory. Do you think you can do whatever you want here just because you want to? Just stay there and don't cause any trouble. Don't cause any trouble." "Yes, Boss Chow. I understand." Chapter 2302. After returning to the Three Lotus Society, Su Yun once again came to Gu Ming. At this time, Gu Ming was already at death's door. He no longer hoped that Su Yun would let him go. Hatred made him care about nothing. As long as he didn't let Su Yun get the final result, he didn't even care about his own life. However, Su Yun's words made Gu Ming's heart completely collapse. Fifth Master Qiao is a straightforward person. He doesn't mind doing business with anyone. Su Yun smiled. Gu Ming, you should go back with me and admit your guilt, right? Impossible, how could it be like this? Gu Ming couldn't believe this fact. Su Yun actually contacted Qiao Kaiyu. How did he do it? If Su Yun couldn't get the item, how could he know about Qiao Kaiyu? How did you find it? Why do you know all this? Gu Ming couldn't believe what was happening in front of him. Why do you know everything? Why? Su Yun, there's no such thing as an airtight wall in the world. You thought it was the safest place, but it's actually the most dangerous place. Impossible, no one would think that I would hide the item underwater in the cabin. Also, it's impossible to go down without professional diving equipment. It's not easy to blow up the rocks after going down. Without a professional explosives expert, it's impossible to calculate the power of the explosion. Gu Ming had completely collapsed. Too much power will cause the Ebola virus to burst, and the Ebola virus will completely fill the entire ocean. You wouldn't dare to bet on it. Su Yun took a deep breath. Gu Ming was really crazy enough to think of such a method. Although Gu Ming had admitted to the hiding place of the Ebola virus weapon, retrieving the weapon was still a problem. I didn't expect you to be so easily tricked, Su Yun, but still thank you. Thank you for telling me where the item is. Gu Ming's eyes were bloodshot. What do you mean? What do you want to play with me? Su Yun, do you know where it is or don't you? Tell me. Do you know or not? Tell me. It was not that Gu Ming was stupid enough to admit the location of the Ebola virus weapon, but the deal between him and Qiao Kaiyu had already begun. He had already told Qiao Kaiyu where the Ebola virus weapon was hidden, and Qiao Kaiyu would go to Fisherman Street these 2 days because he had arranged for someone to dive down and confirm this fact. Actually, what Gu Ming and Qiao Kaiyu traded was not the Ebola virus weapon, but the rock that could accurately explode the black suitcase stuffed with the Ebola virus weapon. This rock was deep in the sea, and it was impossible to salvage it from the bottom of the sea. Moreover, it was located at a small whirlpool in the depths of the sea. After the black suitcase was stuffed into it, it would be sucked into the depths of the sea. No one could enter it, and it would be impossible to retrieve it. There was no way to obtain an Ebola weapon other than by destroying the rocks with precise underwater explosives. Qiao Kaiyu wanted to wait for the deal with Gu Ming because he did not dare to trust anyone easily. If the explosive power destroyed the Ebola virus weapon, it would be difficult for him to escape from Taiwan Island. Moreover, once this thing was damaged, it would be meaningless. Qiao Kaiyu wanted to obtain the Ebola virus weapon for no other reason than to earn more benefits. He did not want to destroy this thing. Therefore, Qiao Kaiyu went to Fisherman Street these 2 days to get in touch with Gu Ming. Gu Ming had told him before that he would not show up unless it was absolutely safe. That was why Qiao Kaiyu waited patiently for 2 days. Today, all the plans that the two of them had planned were destroyed by Su Yun. How could Gu Ming not collapse? Now, it was more appropriate to use the word crazy to describe Gu Ming. Even if you managed to trick us into revealing the location of the Ebola virus weapon, so what? Gu Ming's laughter was sharp and cold. No one knows the measurement of the explosive power, only me. Only I know. Who dares to take the risk? Who dares to risk the destruction of the entire world? Su Yun tried his best to suppress his anger of wanting to kill Gu Ming. I don't believe that there is no other way to get it out. There is, of course, there is another way. Find a skinny 3-year-old child. That kind of body can enter the crevice of that rock. Gu Ming laughed maniacally. Ha ha ha, but don't forget one important thing. Such a 3-year-old child must be proficient in swimming and be able to bring things out under the suction force of the whirlpool. Ha 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 ha. What do you think of the idea I gave you? Why don't you give it a try? Ha ha ha. Gu Ming felt that his plan was perfect. Yes, there was no other way to get the Ebola virus out. Or you can choose to ignore it and wait. Wait for the seawater to corrode it bit by bit. Maybe it will take 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. But sooner or later, the Ebola virus will leak out and become a terror that will endanger the entire world. Gu Ming had gone mad. He had really gone mad. He no longer cared about anything. His plan had failed. What he wanted was Su Yun's failure. Gu Ming would not allow Su Yun to succeed on him. Absolutely not. Su Yun clenched his fists. He had been suppressing this crazy guy. Gu Ming, what's the point of doing this? Why do you have to hate the entire human race? I want to hate. I want the entire world to become a world of zombies. So what? Gu Ming said. Since I can't live anymore, I will drag the entire world down with me. My life has been worth it. At this time, a weak voice sounded. If you trust me, I can give it a try. Let me dive into the sea and take out the thing you want. The person who spoke was Zhao Shuhai. He spoke carefully and looked at Su Yun's expression. Su Yun's sharp gaze swept across Zhao Shuhai. With his body size, it was impossible. If he could enter the crevice, Gu Ming would not have said that he was a skinny 3-year-old child. Facing Su Yun's questioning gaze, Zhao Shuhai said cautiously, "Give me a chance. Maybe I can really do it." "It's impossible for you. It's impossible for you to go in." Gu Ming shouted hysterically, "Don't make any pointless struggles, it's meaningless. Just wait for your death." "Ha ha ha, Su Yun, have you heard that death is not scary? Waiting for death is scary. You don't know when a global virus infection will occur. Ha ha ha, it's impossible. You can only wait for the arrival of the Grim Reaper. Give me a minute to explain, and perhaps you'll believe me." Zhao Shuhai did not give up on the opportunity that belonged to him. Su Yun was silent for a few seconds. Then he signaled for Zhao Shuhai to be released. "I'll give you a chance. Tell me what you think. Come with me." Zhao Shuhai was overjoyed to be pardoned. Gu Ming, who had completely gone crazy, was still shouting. He said that it was impossible. Everything was impossible. It was all Su Yun's wishful thinking. Su Yun brought Zhao Shuhai out and explained the situation to everyone. After hearing the situation, everyone was silent. Gu Ming was too despicable. He was so despicable that no one could reason with him. Soon, everyone's eyes were focused on Zhao Shuhai. No one believed that Zhao Shuhai had a solution. "Zhao Shuhai, what can you do to solve this problem?" Wu Yuandong denied it immediately. He said to Su Yun, "Although it's troublesome, we can't try anything. If Zhao Shuhai can go in with his size, I can too." Su Yun had to admit that he was a little anxious. However, he did not have any other hope. "Maybe I can really do it." Zhao Shuhai insisted on his point. "If you dive in and run away, how are we going to catch you?" Lin Suin would not give him the chance. "You can think of a way to control me. Get someone to dive in with me and watch me." Zhao Shuhai said, "Do you know why I'm called Sea Rat? I'm a rat that can crawl into any hole in the sea." When everyone heard this, their eyes were once again filled with astonishment. "I was born with the ability to shrink my bones. I can shrink myself into a very small space." Zhao Shuhai said, "I'm not lying. If you don't believe me, you can try. I can do it." Chapter 2303. Are you telling the truth? Su Yun had heard of the bone shrinking skill before. It didn't actually shrink the bones, but used inner chi to shrink the gaps between the bones so that the bones in the body would be densely packed together. Naturally, the human body would shrink, so it was more accurate to call it the body shrinking skill. However, this kind of skill could only be achieved through long-term practice. Zhao Shuhai said he was born with it, which made Su Yun somewhat suspicious. Every morning and evening, people who practiced the bone shrinking skill would lay down a cotton mat on the fragrant grass in an empty and deserted place. They would cross their legs, bend their waist, and do all kinds of soft exercises. This would make the muscles and joints of the whole body as soft as cotton. This was the foundation of the bone shrinking skill, and it required long-term training from a young age. How could Zhao Shuhai, who lived in Fisherman Street, have the time? Most of his time was probably spent running around to make a living. Wang Yi had also mentioned this skill to Su Yun and the others, saying that it was a type of Shaolin martial arts. The initial stage of this skill was to press the legs, stretch the tendons, and lengthen the ligaments. Just like other Shaolin martial arts, one had to start from the basics and practice for at least 20 years to reach this level. The internal practice of the bone shrinking skill was to practice the 4 cardinal hours of the day, noon, morning, and night. After reaching the qi circulation cycle, one had to refine the muscles and skin. Only then could the qi circulate through the organs, and finally the qi would penetrate the bones of the entire body to refine the invincible Vajra body. After attaining the invincible Vajra body, one could then practice the bone shrinking skill to achieve great success. One could then retract the muscles and fold the bones as one wished, and the rest of the body could be retracted freely. It was said that this kind of person could make their body like sponge. Even if they fell from a high-rise building, they wouldn't be injured. Zhao Shuhai nodded with certainty and said seriously, "I'm telling the truth. Why don't you find something to test it on? If I'm lying, you'll be able to tell at a glance. You're born with it? You haven't practiced it before?" Su Yun said, "You really don't have the right to joke with us now." Zhao Shuhai said, "I'm not lying at all." To be honest, Zhao Shuhai's small head was pointy, and he did look like he was gifted. "All right, I'll let you try." Wu Yuandong then began to look for something. It was a wooden chair. Even a 3-year-old child would not be able to squeeze through the gap at the back. Zhao Shuhai took a deep breath and nodded. "If I can get through, you'll trust me, right?" "That's right. As long as you can pass through, we'll believe you." Lin Suin's curiosity was piqued. This was indeed not something an ordinary person could do. Zhao Shuhai did as he said. He really walked to the side of the wooden chair. After some observation and testing, he found a special angle and gently turned his head. His head actually went through the gap of the chair. Then, under everyone's gaze, Zhao Shuhai's shoulders shrank, and his chest, abdomen, and hip bones shrunk by a large margin. Just like that, he squeezed his body through that inconceivable gap in front of everyone's eyes. This performance could really be considered a magic trick. Lin Suin widened her eyes and couldn't believe what she was seeing. She thought that if it wasn't for the iron door of the room where they were locked up without any gaps or windows, this guy would have escaped long ago. "Now, you should believe me, right?" Zhao Shuhai said. "As long as the gap at the bottom of the sea is smaller than the gap at the back of the chair, I can basically handle it. Also, I'm good at swimming. I grew up by the sea. The suction force of a small whirlpool won't be a problem for me." The gap at the bottom of the sea had to be big enough for the black suitcase to pass through, so it wouldn't be too small. With Zhao Shuhai's bone-shrinking skill, he might be able to squeeze himself into the suitcase. This was reliable. It was worth a try. Su Yun instantly saw the hope of success. "Zhao Shuhai, that thing will endanger the entire world. If you take it out, it's equivalent to saving your family. You have to complete this mission." "It's not a problem to complete this mission, but..." Zhao Shuhai suddenly slowed down. "What? You still dare to raise conditions?" Wu Yuandong glared at him. "Don't be ungrateful. This is a chance for you to redeem yourself." Zhao Shuhai said, "President Wu, I'm also risking my life for this mission. I can't bring any oxygen equipment down there. If I get caught in it or get sucked in by the whirlpool, I'll die. Can't I have some conditions?" "You..." Wu Yuandong was really speechless. It was true, this was a matter of life and death. Su Yun said, "As long as you can take the thing out, you can state any conditions." "First of all, does what I did offset my sins?" Zhao Shuhai said, "If I help you take the item out successfully, you can forget about what I have done." Su Yun was slightly stunned. "I'm afraid that this matter will be decided by the Hong Kong and Macau police. I can't promise you anything now, but I will try my best to help you apply." "That won't do. I won't do anything without a guarantee. Zhao Shuhai said, if I do such a dangerous thing, I'll still die because of my mistakes. Why should I take the risk? It's meaningless to me, isn't it? Facing Zhao Shuhai's words, no one could refute. It was the truth, so it was normal for Zhao Shuhai to have such conditions. Okay, I promise you. Yang Qi finally couldn't help but speak. I'm a Hong Kong and Macau police officer. If you really have the ability, I'll promise you. As long as you take out the thing, I'll let you go on behalf of the Hong Kong and Macau police. Zhao Shuhai looked at Yang Qi. After confirming that she wasn't lying, he nodded. I believe that you won't lie to me, but I can't believe that after you go back, your Hong Kong and Macau police officers won't agree and will arrange for people to arrest me. Then what do you want? Yang Qi said, I've already promised you that I won't touch you. So I have a second request. As long as I take out the thing, the people of the Three Lotus Association must arrange for me to leave Taipei. Zhao Shuhai said, arrange for my family to go to Canada first, then I'll go back to help you with this matter. After that, you must arrange for me to leave immediately. Although this request was a bit excessive, Lin Suyin didn't hesitate for a moment for Su Yun. Okay, the Three Lotus Association will definitely do what they promised. Miss Lin said it herself, so Zhao Shuhai didn't doubt it. Then there's the last request. Your appetite is a bit too big. Wu Yuandong said, the Three Lotus Association has even agreed to your second unreasonable request. What else are you not satisfied with? Since you've agreed to the unreasonable request, I believe that you'll agree to my third reasonable request. Zhao Shuhai said, my family will leave Taiwan Island because of this matter. At least give us a way out. I also want cash, 10 million in cash as a reward for my life. Hiss. This kid is really greedy. Wu Yuandong stared at him. Let me tell you, this is impossible. Your life is not worth this money at all. My life is not worth this money, but the things I can offer with my life are definitely worth far more than this money, right? Zhao Shuhai said, although I don't know what the Ebola virus weapon is, I can tell that this thing must be very dangerous and highly infectious. So the price I'm asking for should be very cheap. Everyone was silent. Their eyes fell on Su Yun. After all, this matter still needed Su Yun to make the final decision. I believe that Gu Ming will sell this thing to others for 10 times or even 100 times more than what I'm asking for, Zhao Shuhai said. My life is not worth anything, but the thing is. So I don't think my asking price is high. Su Yun finally nodded. For the safety of the world, he accepted it. It was his fault that he didn't know the bone-shrinking skill. If he knew it, he wouldn't have to go through so much trouble to beg others. We agree to your 3 conditions. Su Yun said, but I also hope that I won't see you again in the future. Do things beautifully. I've given you a chance. It's up to you to grasp it. Chapter 2304. Zhao Shuhai knew very well that this was not an easy opportunity to come by. If not for his innate weakness, he would not have had a chance to save himself. When he was young, he never used his bone-shrinking ability as a trump card because everyone in his family thought he was born with a disability. His friends who grew up with him also mocked him for being a spineless person. Zhao Shuhai even treated his innate weakness as a disaster. He treated it as a natural obstacle that he would never be able to overcome. However, things were different now. Now, Zhao Shuhai's innate talent was put to good use. If Zhao Shuhai had a good environment and was recognized by Bo Lu, he wouldn't have ended up like this today. Now that he was a criminal, no one could change that fact. Even if he had an innate ability, it was a pity. The next morning, Lin Suyin personally led the Three Lotus Association to Fisherman Street. In order to ensure the safety of the residents, they transferred everyone away in the name of exploration. There were also those who hid in the houses on the boats and refused to come out. They were basically fugitives from all over the country. The bald man who was beaten up because of the lunchbox was also present. When he realized that the person he offended was the vice president of the Three Lotus Association, Wu Yuandong, his face turned as pale as a sheet of powder. There were many brothers in the Three Lotus Association who were good swimmers. Under Wu Yuendong's arrangement, all of them brought along diving equipment and went into the water to look for hiding places. After all, there were hundreds of houses on the boats in the Fisherman's Street. The area of the sea below was quite large. More than 20 brothers dived into the water to search. Zhao Shuhai kept moving his muscles and bones. He was very clear about the power of small whirlpools at the bottom of the sea. These small whirlpools were very mysterious. Perhaps one would not be able to feel their existence from 5 meters away. However, once one was 2 meters away, there would be a huge suction force. The suction force was very strong. Only those who were good swimmers and had strong arms could swim through it. Ordinary people would not be able to escape from the suction force of these small whirlpools. If one did not use their strength properly, they might be sucked in directly. This kind of small whirlpool would not suck people to some strange place. It would just use the endless suction force to hold people back, until the people who fell into this whirlpool ran out of oxygen and suffocated. This kind of small whirlpool was very rare, especially in the coastal areas. It was almost impossible to have one. It was really unexpected that there was such a small whirlpool in the sea outside the Fisherman's Street. Fortunately, this small whirlpool was hidden under the seabed. Otherwise, who knew how many people would have suffered in this place? Just as the Three Lotus Association was clearing Fisherman's Street for investigation, a domineering Bentley drove over. This was the 3rd consecutive day that this car had been here, so everyone in Fisherman's Street recognized it. This was the car of one of the richest businessmen in the mainland, Boss Chow Kai-yu. Both Lin Suin of the Three Lotus Association and Chow Kai-yu of the continent had come to this place. Presumably, this place was really going to be demolished. All the residents of Fisherman's Street were shocked. Some of them were excited. They felt that this was an opportunity to make money. Moreover, after this place was rebuilt, they would be able to move back. They would no longer be the unruly people of Fisherman's Street. They would become the rich people of a large community. There were also some people whose faces were very heavy. They were already used to the life of Fisherman's Street and did not wish for all of this to change. They felt that this kind of life was very rich, and there was hope in living like this. Once Fisherman's Street was demolished, what would they rely on to make a living in the future? This was the question that they were most concerned about. As the saying goes, those who rely on the mountain eat the mountain, and those who rely on the sea eat the sea. They had relied on the sea to feed themselves their entire lives. Although life was tough and the conditions were very bad, and they had to deal with the smell of fish and shrimp every day, they were already used to this kind of smell. If they really were to live in those tall buildings, they would not be able to adapt. That was not the life they wanted. The life they wanted was to live in this kind of unrestrained Fisherman's Street. Here, no one would collect property management fees from them, and no one would charge them for HD TV fees. There were also no messy expenses such as garbage removal fees. They were already very used to this kind of life. It was completely impossible for them to accept that kind of life. It was completely impossible for them to accept those high and messy expenses. The difference between people was also reflected in this aspect. Some people felt that change was worth it. People lived for a pursuit. If they did not even have such a small pursuit, then what was the point of living? Some people felt that life was for stability. No matter what kind of things, it was better to accept one's fate and live a stable life that belonged to one's own. Ease and moderation would be the life that most people would have to face in their lives. And those who dared to pursue it would eventually die on the road of their own pursuit. However, once the pursuer succeeded, he would be a winner in life. He would be admired by thousands of people. Many people would see the glory of the successful, but they would not know the hard work that the successful had put in behind it. Some people might live in grievance for their whole lives, while others were very likely to turn over a salted fish with one chance. This was all fate. But no matter what, people's fate should still be in their own hands. Zhao Shuhai, you only have one chance. Su Yun looked at Zhao Shuhai, who was still stretching his muscles, and started stretching his muscles himself. You want to go into the water too? Zhao Shuhai was a little surprised. Su Yun nodded. Of course he wanted to go into the water. For such an important matter, he would not be at ease letting Zhao Shuhai go in alone. Whether or not he trusted or not, he would not be so careless. Then you have to exercise first. Don't get cramps after you go in. I don't have time to take care of you, Zhao Shuhai said. I'll bring oxygen down. You can take a breath before you shrink your bones into the sea rock. Su Yun. None of them knew how much effort it would take to get into the sea rock. Su Yun did this for the sake of stability. Zhao Shuhai smiled confidently. Thank you for your kindness. But I, Zhao Shuhai, have a big lung capacity. Breathing for 10 minutes is not a problem for me. It's better to be safe than sorry. Su Yun. If something really happened inside, he could at least extend an oxygen tube into the sea rock to let Zhao Shuhai catch his breath. Okay. Since you care so much about me, I won't let you down. Don't worry. Zhao Shuhai said, unless I get stuck in there, I will definitely be able to get the thing out. But you have to remember what you promised me. As long as you take the thing out, the Three Lotus Gang will arrange for someone to send you away. Su Yun said, your family is already on their way to Canada. You've already met them. You should rest assured and do what you need to do. Don't think too much. Zhao Shuhai looked at Su Yun. I never trusted the police, but now I trust you. I'm not a police officer, Su Yun said. At this moment, Chao Kaiyu had already asked his subordinates to open a path. The Three Lotus Gang members blocked his way. Miss Lin, I've made up my mind. I am willing to cooperate with the Three Lotus Gang, Chao Kaiyu said. I wonder what the Three Lotus Gang members mean by this? Lin Suyin waved her hand and the Three Lotus Gang members opened a path for Chao Kaiyu. Chao Kaiyu gave an unreadable smile and said, since we are going to cooperate, there is no need to trouble the Three Lotus Gang members with something like entering the water, right? Boss Chao, although you want to cooperate now, I have to change my mind, Lin Suyin said. I don't want to do this business anymore. Miss Lin, a businessman cannot go back on his word. Chao Kaiyu's face became a little ugly. If you do this, then I will be very dissatisfied. Lin Suyin looked at Chao Kaiyu and laughed disdainfully. Boss Chao, shouldn't you be more careful? I don't think I'm a businessman. Besides, you were the one who hesitated yesterday. I don't think this has anything to do with me. Chao Kaiyu harumphed. No matter what, I must take the thing away. Are you threatening me? Lin Suyin raised her eyebrows. Wu Yuandong and the others immediately stepped forward. Chao Kaiyu, I'm warning you. This place is too crooked. It's not a place for you to behave atrociously. If you dare disrespect the miss again, I will make you regret it right now. Chapter 2305. President Wu, I'm afraid you don't have the right to speak here, Chao Kaiyu said. I'm talking to your young Mississippi. An outsider like you has no right to interrupt. Lin Suyin glared at him. His words are my words. He can represent me. Boss Chao, it's better if you don't know how to appreciate favors. So young Miss Lin wants to take it all for herself? We can still discuss the price we agreed on. Chao Kaiyu said. But the Three Lotus Gang has to do this business even if you don't want it. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. Beside Chao Kaiyu's car, there was a young man with long hair covering his eyes. That person had been paying attention to every movement here. Although he was far away from Chao Kaiyu had a confident and fearless look. The young man with long hair covering his eyes was definitely not simple. Since Chao Kaiyu dared to show off in front of the Three Lotus Gang, he must have his own reasons. When they met at the club yesterday, the young man was there. He didn't say a word, as if nothing could see through him. Su Yun had noticed the young man at that time. He didn't expect to meet him again so soon. If you really want to cause trouble in the Three Lotus Gang's territory, I, Wu Yuandong, will accompany you to the end. Wu Yuandong didn't care about his bad habits. At such a critical time, he couldn't let Qiao Kaiyu mess things up. The brothers of the Three Lotus Gang received Wu Yuandong's order and surrounded Qiao Kaiyu again. "What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for me to die before you make your move?" Qiao Kaiyu suddenly shouted. "Can you be more observant in the future? Stay close to me in this situation." After Qiao Kaiyu finished cursing, the long-haired young man who had been standing beside the car suddenly moved. His entire person was like an arrow that shot out explosively. He rushed to Qiao Kaiyu's side. Without needing Qiao Kaiyu's order, the young man suddenly attacked. With one move, he swept away all the brothers of the Three Lotus Gang and knocked them to the ground. Then, the young man leaped into the air, dodging the attack of another group of brothers. High up in the air, he kicked the heads of each of the brothers. The people who were stepped on all suffered injuries to their cervical vertebrae. One by one, they fell to the ground and could no longer stand up. This guy was really ruthless. Moreover, his speed was extremely fast. Wu Yuandong knew that the brothers of the Three Lotus Association were not a match for this person. With a shout, he dodged and jumped forward himself. The Aborigines of Fisherman Street were all dumbfounded. They didn't understand what was going on. How did the Three Lotus Society get into a fight with that wealthy merchant? Could it be because of the demolition project? Why would Sonlian refuse when the rich merchants from the mainland wanted to demolish the city? Someone took the lead and shouted, "Good job, Sonlian Association." "Well done, Ms. President. We can't let them tear down our house." Now, the misunderstanding was blown out of proportion. Those who didn't know what was going on were all involved. Those who didn't want to tear down Fisherman Street cheered for the Three Lotus Association. The people who wanted to tear down this place also began to curse. "The Three Lotus Association is none of your business. This isn't your place. Are you guys crazy? Why are you stopping them from demolishing the building? It's better if they don't demolish it. Miss Lin did nothing wrong. We can't demolish it. I think you guys are the ones who are crazy. What a great opportunity this is. If we don't demolish it this time, who will come and clean up this place in the future? This is our home. We can't demolish it." The Aborigines of Fisherman Street also got into a scuffle because of their different opinions. This time, it was really something. Both sides seemed to have gone crazy as they talked about their reasons. This fight instantly became chaotic. Wu Yuandong faced the long-haired youth and gestured. "Come, how dare you behave so atrociously in the territory of the Three Lotus Association? Today, I'll let you know what it means to court death." The youth didn't say anything and directly attacked. His first attack was aimed at Wu Yuandong's chest. Wu Yuandong's reaction was fast enough. He retreated and dodged the attack. At the same time, he retaliated with a kick. The other party's reaction was also very fast. He opened his arms and blocked Wu Yuandong's kick. In an instant, the two of them were evenly matched. Lin Suyin was particularly surprised. No wonder Qiao Kaiyu was so self-righteous and full of confidence. It turned out that this guy came prepared. He actually brought such an expert with him. After 3 to 5 moves, Wu Yuandong was at a disadvantage. "Don't move. Everyone, stop. I'm the Hong Kong and Macau police." Yang Qi's shouting was meaningless. This place was too gay. In front of her were people from the mainland and gay. It had nothing to do with the Hong Kong and Macau police. Therefore, Yang Qi couldn't use any of her abilities here. She couldn't help at all. She didn't have a gun on her. She could only shout with her voice. No one paid her any attention. Her voice was quickly drowned out by the clamor of the crowd. The more chaotic the fight was, the more Su Yun couldn't leave Zhao Shuhai's side. If he let Zhao Shuhai escape, then it would be too difficult to catch him in the chaos. Fortunately, at this time, someone came out from the water and shouted, "Found the place." The Ebola virus weapon was the most important thing. Su Yun picked up the oxygen tube, grabbed Zhao Shuhai, and jumped into the sea. He didn't care if Zhao Shuhai's muscles were comfortable after stretching. After diving into the sea, the two of them went straight to the destination. When the three Lotus Society's brothers saw the chaotic situation, they immediately joined the team to protect the young miss. The young man beside Chao Kaiyu was an expert among experts. Wu Yuandong was no match for him. If it weren't for the help of so many three Lotus Society's brothers, Wu Yuandong would have been defeated long ago. Chao Kaiyu looked at Lin Suyin confidently. Miss Lin, with your three Lotus Society's mediocre skills, you're no match for an expert from the mainland. Ha ha ha, I think you shouldn't try to be brave today. Otherwise, I'll embarrass you in front of so many gay people. Won't you be embarrassed then? Boss Chao, I'm afraid it's too early to say that. Wu Yuandong said, as long as there's still one brother in the Three Lotus Society, we won't let you do whatever you want. Everyone says President Wu's skills are extraordinary. But why does it look like that's all there is to it? You brought so many people and you can't even win against one of my men. Do you still deserve to be called good? Chao Kaiyu said, people like you can't even withstand a single blow in the mainland. Only in a small place like Taiwan will people treat you like a treasure. Don't get too full of yourself. With your level of skill, you're not even fit to carry my shoes. Chao Kaiyu's words angered Wu Yuandong. He roared again and rushed forward. The long-haired young man immediately blocked his way. The two of them wrestled anxiously again. The long-haired young man's moves were tricky and strange, and his speed was faster than Wu Yuandong's. Many times, Wu Yuandong clearly knew where his opponent was going to attack. Even if his judgment was correct, he couldn't react in time. He was at a disadvantage because of this. Many times, he was injured because of this. Lin Suyin and Yang Qi couldn't help but sweat for him when they saw him. Fortunately, Wu Yuandong's willpower was strong enough. Even if he was knocked down many times, he could still stand up. He could even take advantage of the opportunities that his brothers found for him to give this young man a good taste of his fists. However, this young man's resistance seemed to be far beyond their imagination. Wu Yuandong's full strength punches hit him, but he didn't seem to be affected at all. Just this ability to resist attacks was a little too abnormal. Chao Kaiyu sneered as he watched the other party struggle. He wanted to use one person to defeat the entire Three Lotus Society. He wanted to show the people of the Three Lotus Society that he, Chao Kaiyu, was not someone they could provoke. So what if it was the Three Lotus Society? He was also doing this to show the other people of Taiwan that he, Chao Kaiyu, could even kill the people of the Three Lotus Society in Taiwan. He wanted to see who could do anything to him. In the future, he could do whatever he wanted on Taiwan Island. No one could give him any face. No one would benefit from going against him. Chapter 2306. Although Wu Yuandong couldn't win, he knew that he had to hold on. The current situation was actually very simple. He had to hold on. Su Yun had things he needed to do. He needed them to support the camp behind him. This was very crucial. It was very likely to change the outcome of the battle. Therefore, Wu Yuandong had to grit his teeth and hold on. He had to hold on. Otherwise, if this guy really entered the sea to harass them, things would be troublesome. What Su Yun needed now was an environment where he wouldn't be disturbed. Wu Yuandong had to protect him. The moment Wu Yuandong was distracted, his chest and abdomen were kicked again. His entire body flew several meters. If it weren't for the brothers of the Three Lotus Society catching him, he would have fallen into the water. Wu Yuandong felt a tumble in his chest, and a mouthful of blood spurted out from his mouth and nose. This feeling was as if his entire chest and lungs were burning, and the burning pain was somewhat unbearable. The two of them were on completely different levels. There was no confrontation at all. You are not my opponent. If you still want to continue, you will die. The long-haired youth spoke for the first time. He wasn't a benevolent person, but when facing an opponent like Wu Yuandong, he would give enough respect. That was why he warned Wu Yuandong, letting Wu Yuandong realize the danger of what he was doing. As long as Wu Yuandong didn't stop, he wouldn't even need to do anything. His internal organs would be unable to withstand the pressure and fall into extreme danger. This kind of danger was absolutely unbearable. Once that happened, Wu Yuandong would lose his life. As long as I am alive for a minute, I will not let you have your way, Wu Yuandong insisted. The brothers of the Three Lotus Society were nervous. They didn't want him to continue. The long-haired youth said, "I'm not pitying you. I'm just reminding you. That's all. You talk too much. I asked you to come here to do something. I didn't ask you to be a good person." Qiao Kaiyu glared. "He is your opponent. Enemy. Not your sparring partner." The long-haired youth fell silent again. He walked step by step towards Wu Yuandong. Wu Yuandong also gritted his teeth and straightened his body. Even if he was going to die, he wanted to die beautifully and not like a good-for-nothing. Wu Yuandong was not a person who was afraid of death, but he did not want to die now. He had not found a way to change everything with his own strength. Even if he had a way to perish together, it would allow him to be freed sooner. Let him know what it means to be a mantis trying to stop a chariot. Qiao Kaiyu roared heartbreakingly, "No one can stop me, Fifth Master Qiao. What I want will never fall into the hands of others." The long-haired youth suddenly sped up and exerted force with his feet. His entire body was like a silver beam of light as he attacked Wu Yuandong. Wu Yuandong couldn't even see the other party's figure clearly. He knew that it was impossible for him to complete the mission he had to complete. Everything was over. Wu Yuandong knew that he did not have the ability to change the current situation. Even if he died, he would not be able to rest in peace. Clang! After a loud bang, the long-haired youth took a few steps back, and a figure appeared in front of Wu Yuandong. Wu Yuandong had to take 2 steps back to dissolve the power of the other party. The sudden appearance of this person shocked everyone because there was no such person in the Three Lotus group. Of course, there was no such person in the Three Lotus group. This was the famous Gu Li of the Heaven's Eye group. Gu Li was not originally called this name. It was too sad. However, the girl who was rescued by his father with him died a day after coming to Heaven's Eye. That was the girl who grew up with him in that terrifying place. She was his childhood sweetheart. That girl was his everything. Gu Li was heartbroken, but his father told him that life was just like the first time you met. There was no need to mourn the autumn wind. He changed his name to Gu Li. I didn't expect that a reclusive person who claimed to never participate in worldly affairs would participate in such mundane affairs. Gu Li smiled. The flying ape fist is indeed worthy of its reputation. Its speed and power are unimaginable to the average person. The long-haired youth was stunned. He really didn't expect the opponent to dissolve his punch. That was his full power attack. He only wanted his opponent to die a quick and dignified death. But not only did the other party neutralize it, he even saw through his master's legacy. The Flying Saratobi Fist was a fist technique that had long been forgotten, and the descendants of the Flying Saratobi Fist always lived deep in the mountains and forests, because that was the only place suitable for them to practice. Once they entered the city, there would be no place to train the Flying Ape Fist, and their power would decrease. This was the secret of the Flying Ape Fist. Training it every day would make the fist as fast as lightning. If it was left for a long time without training, the speed would decrease greatly. This was the 8th day since the long-haired youth and Qiao Kaiyu left the forest. He had not trained for 8 days, so his fist speed decreased even more. If the speed of his fists had not decreased, it would have been impossible for anyone to block his attack just now. "Who are you?" the long-haired youth asked coldly. "Who I am is not important. What is important is that the descendant of the Flying Ape Fist left the forest. Are you not afraid of crippling yourself?" Gu Li said, "When you started training the Flying Ape Fist, you should have known that you would be with the forest for the rest of your life. You would not be able to interfere with the mortal world. Otherwise, you wouldn't need anyone to do anything to you. You would cripple yourself. This is my own business. You don't need to worry about it." The long-haired youth said, I will ask you again. Who are you? Guli said, If you can kill me, you will know. The long-haired youth clenched his fist. Since you want to die, then don't blame me for being rude. Chow Kai-yu was extremely nervous facing this guy who came out of nowhere. Quick! Show him who's boss. Let him know what it means to die in embarrassment. Chow Kai-yu didn't expect to meet such a strong opponent. Chow Kai-yu had seen his flying ape fist. That full power attack could even blow up a wall. That was not something normal people could do. Could it be that an expert like him would encounter such trouble today? If you still talk so much, I will make sure you die a horrible death. Chong Mo had appeared behind Chow Kai-yu out of nowhere and sneered at him. People like you should die a more humiliating death. Chow Kai-yu's heart almost jumped out of his chest when he saw another person coming out. Wasn't this a little too frightening? What kind of people were these? The same question appeared in Wu Yuendong's mind. He didn't know who these people were and why they would help him. Lin Suyin looked at the man and woman who had suddenly appeared. Her heart was filled with doubts. Both of them looked like they had extraordinary skills. Their rescue had really helped them resolve their urgent situation. If it wasn't for that person, Wu Yuandong would have been. Lin Suyin didn't even dare to think about it. After all, she didn't expect Chow Kai-yu to bring such powerful people. She also didn't think that Chow Kai-yu would dare to kill someone from the Three Lotus Society in this place. Moreover, he wanted to kill the vice president of the Three Lotus Society. This damned Chow Kai-yu. She would never let him go. Who are you? How dare you talk to me like that? Chow Kai-yu said coldly. Although he was afraid, he wouldn't lower his head and beg for mercy from a little girl. If you beg me now, I might spare your lives. Chow Kai-yu, you bastard should have been dealt with long ago. Since today is such a coincidence, I will let you die a little clearer. Chong Mo said coldly. Hurry up and save me. If I really die, you won't be able to go back. Chow Kai-yu quickly shouted. The long-haired youth didn't care about fighting with Guli and rushed towards Chow Kai-yu. Although Chong Mo knew that he would come, she didn't expect him to be so fast. Fortunately, Guli shouted and reminded her to let go of Chow Kai-yu. That was how they managed to avoid the sudden attack. As expected of the successor of the Flying Ape Fist. Even if he left the forest to cultivate, he could still maintain such a fast speed. It was indeed extraordinary. Kan Kong, who was standing in the crowd, frowned. The successors of the Flying Ape Fist all lived in seclusion in the Chongbai Mountains. Chongbai Mountains were far from Taiwan Island. He really didn't understand why this person would come here with Chow Kai-yu. Chapter 2307. This Chow Kai-yu was also a notorious guy. Skies, I had been watching him for a long time. This guy used the name of a scholarly businessman to do some disgusting things. He had really ruined such a name. On the surface, he was very good, and many people thought he was really a scholarly businessman. However, behind the scenes, he was capable of doing anything. He used the management of Confucian merchants to collect membership fees to expand his influence. He also used the name of investment to conduct illegal financing. After he received the money, he said that he was investing in the research and development of mysterious technologies, so there was no real business at all. In fact, his money was used to resell arms to the war-torn areas in the Middle East, and even to conduct illegal mercenary activities. To put it nicely, they were mercenaries. To put it bluntly, they were cannon fodder. Once there was a war, a large number of people would be needed to carry out the work on the battlefield. And these things were not done by regular troops. Regular troops cherished their lives very much. And those powerful mercenary groups charged too high, which would bring a great financial burden to the employer. So some people would hire some cheap mercenaries to make up the numbers. And Chow Kai-yu did this work. For every person he recruited for the other party, he would receive a reward of $100,000. And he only needed to pay 200,000 renminbi to the applicant. After that, there would be an income every day, no matter how high the income was. In this way, It was easy to deceive the trust of many people in Huaxia, especially those who had just come of age and didn't understand much. Some were even as young as 16 years old, and he wouldn't refuse them to join. These young and frivolous teenagers all thought that they could use their passion to make money, and the 200,000 renminbi in their hands was too tempting. However, these people would never have imagined that what they had to face when they went there wasn't the hot-bloodedness of playing Call of Duty on the computer. Instead, they had to clean up the battlefield. Every day, they would see broken arms and legs. Once they encountered the enemy's regular army, they wouldn't even have the chance to resist and would die an unnatural death. The number of missing people in Huaxia every year was a number that no one would ever know. There were many versions of the numbers on the internet, but almost all Huaxia people knew one thing in their hearts. What kind of equation was used to calculate the statistics of the so-called relevant departments? And how many of these missing people were deceived by a black-hearted person like Chow Kai-yu? That was why it was said that there was no such thing as a free lunch in the sky. Everyone should be more careful. Anything that made it easy to get rich was bound to be a trap. Chow Kai-yu relied on this everyone wants to daydream and get rich mentality to make himself really rich. One must know that he only had a primary school diploma. He didn't even know simple multiplication and division. He had to rely on a calculator to add and subtract more than 2 digits. And it was precisely by taking advantage of such thinking that he solved all his problems. What he wanted to earn was their money. He claimed to be a scholarly merchant, but he was actually a swindler who had learned a few sentences from the Analects of Confucius. Heavens, I had been eyeing him for a while now. If it weren't for the fact that he had a lot of things on hand and that Chow Kai-yu had always had an official and pleasant identity, heavens, I would easily bring unnecessary trouble to himself if he went to the continent to provoke him. This was the reason why, heavens, I had never touched Chow Kai-yu. Chong Mo had been unhappy about this for a long time. This kind of person should die a day earlier. Dying a day earlier could free and change the fate of many people. In fact, these people who had been deceived really deserved it. Those who always thought of making money by taking advantage of opportunities would sooner or later be deceived. These people also deserved it. Who are these people? Chow Kai-yu trembled with anger after being shocked. He glared at Lin Suin with resentment. Your Three Lotus Association is really insidious. You even invited reinforcements. Humph, I think the Three Lotus Association is just a bunch of clowns. What are you talking about? Lin Suin said angrily, who are you calling a clown? Let me tell you, Chow Kai-yu, I don't even know these two people. They must have seen someone like you are too disgusting, so they took action. It has nothing to do with me. Chow Kai-yu sneered, do you think anyone will believe your nonsense? We really have nothing to do with the Three Lotus Association. Chong Mo said coldly, the Three Lotus Association is also not a good thing. We didn't come to help the Three Lotus Association. We just don't like you, Chow Kai-yu, you bastard. Chong Mo's words were really offensive. Not only did he scold Chow Kai-yu, but he also excluded the Three Lotus Association. Lin Suin frowned. Because they had just helped them and saved Wu Yuandong, she held back her anger. Miss, please don't speak so harshly. Did our Three Lotus Association do anything to offend you? Since you said we are not good people, why did you help us? I didn't help you. Chong Mo said and looked at Gu Li in confusion. It's just that someone is willing to meddle in other people's business. Gu Li actually considered more. This Wu Yuandong was willing to risk his life in order to give Su Yun time to go to the bottom of the sea to retrieve something. This meant that his relationship with Su Yun was definitely not ordinary. If this person really died in the hands of the long-haired young man. Chapter 2308. After Su Yun and Zhao Shuhai dived into the sea together, they quickly found the sea rock. After confirming it with the light, Su Yun quickly determined the location of the black suitcase. The suitcase was sucked into the deepest part of the sea rock by the small whirlpool under the sea rock. The gap in the sea rock was indeed not easy to enter. After Zhao Shuhai observed it for a while, He gave Su Yun a hand signal to confirm that he could give it a try. Su Yun nodded. He gave Zhao Shuhai a portable oxygen tube that he brought down with him. With Zhao Shuhai's ability to hold his breath for 10 minutes, he should be able to take the suitcase out without any problems. However, that didn't mean that there wouldn't be any problems. Because the bone shrinkage required adjusting one's breath, it would affect the amount of time one could hold their breath, and it would also affect the space in which one could move their lungs. Therefore, it was impossible for Zhao Shuhai to hold his breath for 10 minutes or even longer under such circumstances. Fortunately, Su Yun had already prepared a way to deal with it. Zhao Shuhai did not disappoint and entered the gap in the sea rock, but the reality was much more difficult than he imagined. Because he was underwater, he couldn't adjust his breath. He could only use his breath to do everything. However, it was difficult to maintain this breath because it was too difficult. If it weren't for Zhao Shuhai's superb swimming ability, he would have been squeezed out and trapped in the gap in the sea rock. Zhao Shuhai cursed Gu Ming in his heart as he tried to think of a way to move his body deeper into the sea. However, after thinking about it, if Gu Ming hadn't created such a troublesome situation, he wouldn't have been able to do anything, and he wouldn't have the right to raise any conditions. In that case, he really had to thank Gu Ming for coming up with such a plan. To be honest, Gu Ming was really a genius. This kind of thing could only be thought of by a genius. After just 5 minutes, Zhao Shuhai felt that he couldn't take it anymore. Under the condition of bone shrinkage at the bottom of the sea, his ability to hold his breath was greatly reduced. Just as he was regretting risking his life like this, Su Yun went in with a sealed tube. Su Yun used the tube to deliver oxygen to Zhao Shuhai. Zhao Shuhai finally had a chance to catch his breath. He could finally adjust his breathing before proceeding to the next step. He felt much more comfortable, and he was able to take another step with ease. 10 minutes later, Zhao Shuhai's fingers finally grasped the handle of the black suitcase. However, the suction of the small vortex made it very difficult for him. After an intense struggle, Zhao Shuhai finally broke free from the suction of the whirlpool. After almost half an hour, Zhao Shuhai's physical strength had reached its limit. Su Yun kept supplying him with oxygen so that Zhao Shuhai could adjust his breathing. Most of the time, aura was very important. Adjusting one's aura well could greatly improve one's abilities. If one's aura was not adjusted well, it would make it more difficult for one to do things. Now that Zhao Shuhai was able to adjust his qi, he was able to bring the black suitcase out bit by bit. Finally, victory was in sight. After more than half an hour, Zhao Shuhai finally brought the black suitcase out. The moment Su Yun received the item, the huge stone that had been hanging in his heart was suddenly lifted. At this moment, Zhao Shuhai felt a little regretful. He regretted handing over the item first. If Su Yun kicked him in now, he wouldn't be able to control his breath and would die here. Soon, Zhao Shuhai realized that he was measuring the heart of a gentleman with his own yardstick. Su Yun didn't get rid of him after he had outlived his usefulness. Instead, he took the initiative to help Zhao Shuhai. With Su Yun's help, Zhao Shuhai successfully escaped. Half an hour of bone shrinkage made Zhao Shuhai sore and weak. Fortunately, Su Yun pulled him and quickly floated to the surface. Both of them had run out of oxygen. If it weren't for Su Yun's quick reaction, Zhao Shuhai felt that he, a sea rat, might have died in the sea that had raised him since he was a child. Whoosh! Su Yun and Zhao Shuhai successfully floated to the surface. At this time, it seemed to be more exciting. Su Yun didn't expect to see a battle between two masters. The long-haired youth's flying Sarutobi fist was already very strenuous for Gu Li. The flying Sarutobi fist's specialty was that the more you hit, the stronger you hit, and the faster you hit. As for the reason, only those who practiced it would know. Su Yun immediately recognized that this was the flying Sarutobi fist, because this fist technique was very different from other fist techniques, especially in terms of speed. It was so fast that it dazzled the eyes of the spectators. This was the secret of the flying Sarutobi fist. Su Yun quickly went ashore. Yang Qi saw that he had already gotten the suitcase and was relieved. "You're finally up." That person almost injured Brother Dong. Fortunately, those two people came to help. Lin Suyin quickly said, "That person seems to be unable to hold on anymore. Chow Kaiyu, that bastard, brought this person over." Of course the successor of the flying Sarutobi fist was strong. They were people who could conquer the entire forest. "Take care of the suitcase. I'll go help." Su Yun handed the black suitcase to Yong Qi. Since the person who came to help, he couldn't just watch him get hurt. In the blink of an eye, the long-haired youth's continuous attacks had completely forced Gu Li into a corner. If he attacked with all his strength, even if he couldn't kill Gu Li, he would still be able to heavily injure him. Su Yun reacted in time and blocked the punch. With a skillful move, he forced the long-haired youth to retreat several meters away. "Thanks bro," Su Yun said to Gu Li. He didn't know who Gu Li was, but he was sure that this person wasn't simple. After all, he was able to hold on for so long against the successor of the flying Sarutobi fist. This meant that he was capable. "You're welcome." Gu Li turned around and ran into the crowd. He had no intention of fighting and even ordered Chong Mo, "Let's go." Although Chong Mo was unwilling, he still did as he was told. What made Chong Mo feel even more regretful was that she met Su Yun again, but this time she had to leave in a hurry. Even though the two of them were walking very quickly, Su Yun still recognized Chong Mo. That's right. Su Yun was stunned. This person was definitely Chong Mo. He couldn't be wrong. Could it be that Heaven's Eyes people had also arrived at Great Bend Island? At this moment, Su Yun screamed in his heart. His gaze quickly shifted to Yong Qi. At this moment, Yong Qi, Lin Suyin, and Zhao Shuhai, who contributed greatly today, were all unconscious on the ground. The black suitcase in Yong Qi's hand was nowhere to be found. Damn it! It was Heaven's Eyes doing. After obtaining the Ebola virus weapon, Kan Kong immediately gave the order to retreat. By the time Su Yun recognized Chong Mo and reacted, Kan Kong was already nowhere to be found. Damn it, who should he go after now? However, what Su Yun had to face now was not all of this. The long-haired youth's fist whistled through the air and landed on Su Yun's left shoulder like a meteor. Because of what happened just now, Su Yun was distracted for a moment and did not manage to dodge the punch. The injured Su Yun had no choice but to quickly get into a defensive stance. The long-haired youth also showed his stance in front of Su Yun. He knew that the person he met this time was a real opponent. Su Yun took a deep breath. If he wasted time here, it would not be worth it. "Lord Chao Wu, it's not convenient for me to accompany you today. If you want your subordinates to fight with me, I'll definitely accompany you another day, but not today. I still have things to do, so I won't accompany you. Unfortunately, you can't leave." Chao Kai-yu sneered. "Do you really think your Three Lotus Society can do whatever you want? If you want to leave, you'll have to take care of my people first. Otherwise, don't even think about leaving." The long-haired youth was also attracted by Su Yun's strength. He especially wanted to find the feeling of exchanging blows with an expert. For any cultivator of the flying ape fist, this was the best thing that could happen. Chapter 2309. Those who practiced the flying ape fist would be able to rapidly increase their strength when fighting with experts. This was because they had grasped the principles of how to maximize their speed and strength. Just like an ape, they would constantly pass through the forest and trees. Their body coordination was perfect. With this perfect coordination, the physical quality of an ape, coupled with the thinking of a human, and the integration of martial arts, the flying ape fist was formed. There was once an expert who said that if they were in the forest, even if they faced an expert who was a level higher, the flying ape fist practitioners would definitely not be at a disadvantage because they knew how to make use of everything in the forest. Fortunately, he was in the middle of the city. Even though the fisherman's street's terrain was complicated enough, it was still a coastal area where houses with roofs were randomly built. The floating boats here were not suitable for flying Sarutobi fist practitioners. We've all been fooled. Those two people and their accomplices have already taken away what we all want. Su Yun, if Lord Chao Wu still wants it, you'd better help me, not stop me. Chow Kai-yu was startled when he heard this. Only now did he notice that Lin Suin and the others were indeed knocked out, and the black suitcase that Su Yun had just brought up from the bottom of the sea was gone. At this time, he suddenly realized that the other party's goal was not him, but the treasure that could make them rich. Damn it! Chow Kai-yu cursed in his heart. Who the hell are they? They're from Heaven's Eye. Su Yun. There are 5 of them. Just now, those 2 people attracted all of our attention, and the other 3 waited for an opportunity to take action and steal the thing. Instead, they used you to stop me. When the sandpiper and the clam fight, the fisherman benefits. Chow Kai-yu quickly looked in the direction that the 2 people had fled, but he could not find any trace of them. Moreover, when the man and woman left, they ran in different directions. In this way, they had no way of determining where the other 3 people that Su Yun mentioned went. Now, if Lord Xiao Wu still wants to waste time here with me, I can guarantee that they can leave Taiwan in the shortest time possible. Su Yun, this is not a joke. The fact that the Heavens Eye can successfully leave Hong Kong and Macau Island and come to Taiwan means that they have extraordinary abilities. Chow Kai-yu also knew a little about Sky's Eye, so he was also very clear about what kind of things Sky's Eye had done. They've already run away. How do you want to chase him? Chow Kai-yu asked. Use all the power of the 3 Lotus Society to block off all possible routes for the other party to leave Taiwan Island, Su Yun said. He believed that the 3 Lotus Society would do a better job than the Hong Kong and Macau police. After all, most of the places where the Hong Kong and Macau police sealed off the exits of Hong Kong and Macau were legal places. Some of the messy small docks could not be controlled. Many people would take risks in order to earn money. On the other hand, things were different in Taiwan. Once the 3 Lotus Association gave the order and added a generous reward, no one would be able to leave. They would definitely inform the 3 Lotus Association of the news. 4 men and 1 woman who would pay a high price to leave Taiwan Island. This kind of target was too easy to find. Moreover, Su Yun would ask the 3 Lotus Association to make sure that no one would be able to leave the small docks. If the 3 Lotus Association found out that someone did not follow the rules, they would never be able to stay in Taiwan Island again. Most of the people who had the ability to do so were the local tyrants of Taiwan Island. These people were deeply rooted in Taiwan Island and had families to feed. They would not offend the 3 Lotus Association for this kind of money. For example, if people like Zhao Shuhai knew that the people Gu Ming offended were related to the 3 Lotus Association, they would definitely not have done this business. This kind of business was not worth the money. Okay. Then I'll cooperate with you. After capturing those bastards, we'll talk about who should get the item. Chow Kai-yu also knew that he did not have that much power in Taiwan Island. He could only rely on the 3 Lotus Association for this kind of thing. Su Yun immediately signaled Wu Yuandong to make arrangements. They could not let the Heaven's Eye people leave Taiwan Island after meeting. As long as they left Taiwan Island, even if Su Yun grew wings, he would not be able to find them. Chow Kai-yu was also anxious about this matter. The more people were interested in this thing, the higher the value of this thing. Chow Kai-yu understood this point clearly. Moreover, Chow Kai-yu also realized that the 3 Lotus Association and Gu Ming were not working together. It should be a black-on-black relationship. Otherwise, why had he not seen Gu Ming? All the signs pointed to the fact that this matter was very complicated. It was not as simple as Gu Ming had told him before. Moreover, the involvement of the Heavens Eye made this matter very dangerous. This thing was originally created by the Heavens Eye. Now that the Heavens Eye had come back to snatch it, it was obvious that something had gone wrong. With this matter, Chow Kai-yu really could not force himself to be in the limelight. It was better to let the 3 Lotus Association be the vanguard. It would not be too late for him to raise his conditions when the matter had taken shape. After all, he had too few cards in his hand. Other than a useful person, he did not have any other capital. Right now, Su Yun was having a headache more than anyone else. There was no doubt about the ability of the Heaven's Eye. Now that the item was in their hands, the initiative was back in their hands. There were many situations that were out of his control. Once the heavens I was forced into a corner, it was afraid that the heavens I would do anything. This was also one of the points that Su Yun was worried about. Wu Yuandong was busy arranging the matters that Su Yun had asked him to do. The brothers of the Three Lotus Association were keeping an eye on all the possible places to leave the island. They would report the situation every 10 minutes and get all the ships to unload the spare fuel barrels. This was also Su Yun's arrangement. If they did not report the situation in time, it meant that there was a problem. The other party had the ability to snatch the ships. Therefore, Su Yun ordered people to extract the fuel. Even if the ships were snatched, they would not be able to get far. Su Yun had to think of all these, and he had to do it. This was the only way to ensure that there would be no mistakes and no accidents. After everything was arranged, Su Yun's heart calmed down a little. Lin Suyin and Yang Qi were very angry after they woke up. Yang Qi was even more annoyed that she was useless. Su Yun had just handed the thing to her, and she had actually lost it. This made Yang Qi very annoyed. Zhao Shuhai was also knocked unconscious. When he woke up and found out that his item had been stolen, all he cared about was whether he could successfully leave Taiwan. He did not care about anything else. He had already done what he had to do, so he had to get what he deserved. Now, the entire Taiwan was under the watch of the Three Lotus Association. Even a fly would not be able to fly out without the agreement of the Three Lotus Association. No one had the time or energy to deal with Zhao Shuhai's matter. The entire Three Lotus Association was now very busy. Zhao Shuhai did not dare to say anything at this juncture. If he made the other party anxious, all his previous efforts would have been wasted. In the end, it was very likely that he would not get anything. It was not impossible for him to suffer a double loss. Therefore, Zhao Shuhai was very cooperative with the arrangements of the Three Lotus Association. He quietly waited for this matter to end. As long as this matter was over, he believed that Su Yun was a person of integrity. He would definitely do what he had promised him. The worst-case scenario was not impossible. Zhao Shuhai also knew that if he could not get the thing back, he would not be able to leave so easily. No one would be in the mood to care about him. Because the people of Skies I must have entered Taiwan through other irregular means, it was impossible for them to buy a plane ticket to leave. After all, coming to Taiwan was a relatively sudden matter. They could not prepare forged documents, so it was impossible for them to buy a plane ticket. If the people of Skies I wanted to leave, they could only leave through other irregular means. And these places that they could leave were all under the control of the Three Lotus Association. It could be said that they were completely closed. Su Yun wanted to catch a turtle in a jar. He wanted to see what ability Skies I had to escape again. Qiao Kaiyu looked at this matter with the mentality of watching from the sidelines. Although he knew how terrifying Skies I was, he still had confidence in the Three Lotus Association. After all, it was a local snake. If it was really angered, it would be very painful to bite. Although Skies I had the upper hand now, it was dangerous for anyone who had it. Qiao Kaiyu was very clear about this simple truth. He was afraid that the following days would be more difficult. He wanted his personal bodyguard to stay by his side at all times. Even when taking a bath, sleeping, and going to the toilet, they had to be with him. He was a person who cherished his life very much. He would not relax for even a moment. Chapter 23:10. The first thing Remnant did after he got the item was to disperse everyone. His goal was to confuse everyone so that they would not be able to figure out where they were going. Eventually, he would regroup and think of another way to leave. There was a secluded place in the middle of Taiwan Island. This was where Sky's eyes gathered again. After everyone had gathered, Remnant opened the suitcase and checked the Ebola virus weapon. Fortunately, everything was fine. There was no damage to the Ebola virus weapon, nor was there any leakage. Gu Ming had also made a perfect waterproof bag in the suitcase. Therefore, there was no problem with the Ebola virus weapon at all. Phew! It's good that the item is still here. Chong Mo let out a long sigh of relief. As long as they could get the item safely, their mission would not be considered a failure. She did not want her first mission to end in failure. One had to know that the other 4 people present had never failed before, so Chong Mo was under a lot of pressure. If she joined the mission and everyone failed like her, she would easily have bad thoughts. She would be very worried that all the failures were because of her. Therefore, Chong Mo was the one who was under the most pressure. The others could see this too. They all knew what Chong Mo was thinking. It's not over yet. We can't relax yet. Remnant said to Chong Mo, before we leave Taiwan Island safely, we can't be careless. I understand. Chong Mo nodded seriously. If it was in the past, she would definitely talk back to Remnant. However, she would not do so now. She understood that Remnant's arrangement was the best. If it were not for Remnant, they might not even be able to escape from Hong Kong and Macau. The inescapable net of Hong Kong and Macau almost caught them all in one fell swoop. Fortunately, Remnant's last move to lure the tiger away from the mountain and the empty fort strategy gave them a chance to catch their breath and escape. All of this was due to Remnant. Therefore, Chong Mo was very impressed with Remnant. The only way we can leave Taiwan Island now is by water, Nian Yi said, but now, I believe that they will definitely seal off all the places we can escape from. What are you afraid of? We'll steal the ship. Chong Mo said, after we steal the ship, we'll leave. They won't be able to catch us even if they want to. Jie Su agreed with Chong Mo's suggestion. Sometimes, the simplest method was the most effective. However, Gu Li objected, right now, Su Yun's partner is the Three Lotus Association. We all know how powerful they are in Taiwan. They definitely have the ability to seal off all the waterways we can use in a short amount of time. If I were Su Yun, I would definitely consider the possibility of us robbing the ship. I would have emptied the ship's fuel tank as soon as possible. That's right. Su Yun is a smart man. Whatever we can think of, he must have thought of as well. Ken Kong also agreed with Gu Li's words. Robbing the ship now is definitely not the way out. They will definitely be prepared for such a simple method. They are from the Three Lotus Association, not the Hong Kong and Macau police. The way they do things is also completely different. Then what should we do? We can't just sit here and wait for death, right? Chong Mo said, if they're so ruthless, we won't have any way to get out. Gu Li nodded. At least for now. But we can't rush it. The more we rush it, the easier it is for problems to arise. We should bide our time. Maybe their goal is to make us bide our time, Ken Kong said. This was probably the first time they had different opinions after coming out this time. I'm worried that they want to catch us like a turtle in a jar. They want to force us to bide our time. Since that's what they want, why don't we go along with them? Gu Li continued, there's no way out now. The only thing we can do is to follow their plan. That way, we can temporarily numb them and make them think that they've forced us into a dead end. Ken Kong glanced at Gu Li. And then? We don't need to hide separately anymore. Their goal is to break us down one by one. Gu Li said, we need to stay together and find another opportunity. Gu Li, the person you fought today is very strong. Ken Kong said, you have to admit that he's definitely stronger than you. If it wasn't for the fact that his flying ape fist isn't suitable for fighting in that environment, you would have already. I know that, Gu Li said. Gu Li said, I understand what you're worried about. They do have experts. The flying Saratobi fist expert is one of them, and that Su Yun is even more unfathomable. Even now, we still can't determine his strength. You're worried that they'll work together to deal with us. Ken Kong said, I'm not just worried. I'm even sure that they all want the Ebola virus weapon, and it's in our hands. As the saying goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. They're all targeting us right now. They can definitely form an alliance. But there's only 2 of them. Gu Li said, at least the others won't pose any threat to us. These 2 are enough, Ken Kong said. Remnant said, in a place like Taiwan, the Three Lotus Association's power is too great. We can't hide in the city, so we can only hide in the mountains. If they find us here, and they have a flying Sarutobi fist expert, hiding in the mountains can increase his combat power by several times. We'll have a hard time dealing with them then. Brother, we don't have to think so much. Maybe they're not that strong. Chong Mo said, although that person didn't lose when they fought, he didn't gain any advantage either, right? Kan Kong shook his head. You don't understand. Flying Ape Fist has a huge influence on the terrain. That kind of environment is the most disadvantageous for him, but he can still display such strength. We can't help but worry. Nian Yi nodded. That's right. And that Su Yun, we can't figure him out either. If that's not the case, what do you think we should do? Gu Li said. Is there any other way to leave? If there's a better way to leave, I don't want to stay here either. Even if we have to fight them, we have to get the Ebola virus weapon to a safe place first. Chong Mo looked at the black suitcase angrily. She really wanted to send it out by express delivery. That way, they wouldn't have so much trouble. Why don't we take the risk and send it to the whole world? Chong Mo said unhappily, think of a way to package it and hide it. No, Kan Kong said. Kan Kong said, since it's in our hands, we definitely can't leave. I definitely can't do something so risky. If we're here, we'll keep the item. I'm just saying. Chong Mo said, you don't really think I'll do that, do you? I'm not stupid. I won't do something so scary. A smile appeared on Age Li's face. Chongma, you've actually reminded me of an idea. Why don't we create an illusion? What do you mean? Chong Mo looked at Gu Li with a puzzled expression. The others immediately became interested and looked at Gu Li. Gu Li pointed at the black suitcase. If we just send it out by mail and leave a loophole to let the other party know, we might be able to divert their attention. Then, we'll have plenty of opportunities. The few of them looked at each other. Although this method didn't sound reliable, it was somewhat feasible. Let's take the risk. Gu Li said, even if we can't get the result we want, at least we won't lose anything. As long as the Ebola virus is still in our hands, it's fine. At worst, if they push us too far, we'll create an incident for Taiwan and see if they can hold on. We shouldn't use such an extreme method for now. Kan Kong said, let's do as you said and use the black suitcase as a smokescreen first. Then tomorrow, I'll think of a way to get something else to store the Ebola virus weapon. Jiesu said, let's make sure it's safe and won't be shaken. Then, we'll decide whether to use the suitcase or not. If we don't have something suitable to store it safely, we can't just send the suitcase away. Kan Kong nodded. You're right. The safety of the Ebola virus is our top priority. Chapter 23:11. The situation on Taiwan Island was very grim. Su Yun was now worried about the situation of the Ebola virus weapon. Whether it was damaged or leaked, these were all things he could not be sure of. Therefore, the sooner he got it, the sooner he could feel at ease. Chow Kai-yu could be said to be extremely shameless for this matter. He did not care if Lin Suin invited him or not. He went to the Lin family uninvited. It was fine if he did not leave during dinner. Lin Suin did not care about having 2 more pairs of chopsticks. However, Chow Kai-yu still had no intention of leaving at night. Boss Chow, if the host asks you to leave, I'm afraid you will lose face, right? Wu Yuandong could not stand it anymore and said, although we have a bit of a cooperative relationship now, you can't be considered a close friend of the Three Lotus Association, right? Chow Kai-yu smiled slightly. The Three Lotus Association belongs to the Lin family. I am staying in the Lin family. It is not President Wu's turn to educate me, right? Could it be that President Wu has already taken the Lin family's business as your own? Wu Yuandong snorted disdainfully. Boss Chow, you must be honest. You must speak clearly and clearly. Do not speak nonsense. Be careful not to bite your tongue. Ha ha ha. Is President Wu threatening me? Is it because I said something true? Chow Kai-yu said. Then I am sorry. Just treat it as nonsense. Nonsense. That is what a eunuch says, Wu Yuandong said. I did not expect Boss Chow to have a disability in a certain part of his body. No wonder his personality is so strange. I am sorry. I did not know before. Please forgive me. Since you are disabled, I did not take good care of you. It is my fault. You only know how to be stubborn. Chow Kaiyu said. Today, none of you can make me leave. Since I am a cooperative partner, give me the treatment I deserve. Before this matter is resolved, I will not leave the Lin family. Lin Suyin said to Chow Kaiyu expressionlessly. Since Boss Chow does not mind, I will ask the housekeeper to prepare a room for you. However, the Lin family does not run a hotel. I do not have a place to entertain the people you brought. Of course they won't disturb Miss Lin. Chow Kaiyu said, I won't be so unruly. Miss Lin, thank you for your hospitality. We're in a cooperative relationship, so we should be more familiar with each other. There's nothing wrong with that. On the contrary, it can improve our relationship. I think it's pretty good. If Boss Chow thinks it's good, then it's good. After Lin Suyin finished speaking, she turned to Wu Yuandong and said, Instruct the brothers to serve Boss Chow well. If Boss Chow needs anything, we are to treat him well. Don't let anyone spread the word that our Three Lotus Association is not attentive. Wu Yuandong was still quite unreconciled. This Chow Kaiyu's skin was really F***king thick to a certain extent. It was simply comparable to the city walls. Su Yun couldn't do anything to an old scoundrel like Boss Chow. He knew that he was useful, so he was determined to stay here. If Su Yun wanted to get the help of the Flying Ape Fist successor, he could only endure his shameless behavior. Everything had to wait until he retrieved the Ebola virus weapon before making any further plans. At that time, he would settle the score with Chow Kaiyu. For now, he could only take a step back. Fifth Master Chow, please don't feel uncomfortable living here. Su Yun threw a sentence at Chow Kaiyu. If something unexpected happens in the middle of the night, please don't blame our Three Lotus Association. Don't worry, I naturally have people around me to protect me, Chow Kaiyu said. I think everyone should keep their hearts in their stomachs. Heavens, I won't be stupid enough to take the initiative to send itself to your doorstep. As for our own people, please don't shoot yourself in the foot. If you don't hit others but hit yourself in the foot instead, that would be embarrassing. The long-haired youth who practiced the Flying Ape Fist had been guarding Chow Kaiyu. Su Yun knew that this guy probably wouldn't leave at night. Since that was the case, it wasn't a bad thing. Su Yun prepared to meet him at night. Then good night. I hope Fifth Master Chow can sleep peacefully. After Su Yun finished speaking, he ignored the other party. Chow Kaiyu led his people and Lin Suyin's subordinates to the room. How can this person be so shameless? Yang Qi couldn't stand it anymore. There's no need for us to let him stay here. I already said that I wanted to send him off, but he still refused to leave. Who can stand it? Wu Yuandong said. Shameless people are invincible. Lin Suyin, on the other hand, was more open-minded. Forget it. Since he's already stayed, there's no point in saying anything more. The Three Lotus Association doesn't lack this room. We won't have to stay here in the future. We'll use it as a doghouse. Su Yun knew that Lin Suyin was just saying this out of anger. She just didn't want to fall out with such a scoundrel and lose face for the Three Lotus Association. Actually, it's not necessarily a bad thing for him to stay here, Su Yun said to reassure everyone. He's definitely useful to us. The young man beside him is definitely not simple. I'd like to get to know him. Brother Su Yun, you all said that he's using the Flying Ape Fist. What kind of fist technique is that? Why haven't I heard of it before? Wu Yuandong was a little puzzled. That guy's movements are really too fast. This isn't his limit at all. Su Yun said, the Flying Ape Fist is a fist technique that has been lost for a long time. It's said that 1,000 years ago, an expert was accompanied by apes deep in the mountains and forests. He unintentionally comprehended this technique. The flying ape fist is unfathomable. It's practiced with apes as the foundation. Wu Yuandong was a little surprised. This isn't his limit? Then what's his limit? If we were in the mountains and forests, and his mind wasn't disturbed by worldly affairs, I'm afraid that even I wouldn't be able to see the limit of his speed. Su Yun said, "This is the power of the flying ape fist. Therefore, this person can't be underestimated." Lin Suyin gritted her teeth. I didn't expect Chow Kaiyu to have such an expert by his side. This person probably has a special reason for staying by Chow Kaiyu's side. Su Yun said, "As far as I know, people who practice the flying ape fist won't leave the mountains and forests. This is because all the essence of heaven and earth in the mountains and forests are beneficial to their cultivation. Leaving the mountains and forests will cause them to lose the qi they need. This will cause their skills to deteriorate." Wu Yuandong was surprised. This was still a fight with him under the condition that his skills deteriorated? He didn't even have a chance of winning. This was a little too scary. "I want to know why he's working by Chow Kaiyu's side," Su Yun said. "From what I feel, he's definitely not willing. There must be a reason. Money makes the world go round. Needless to say, it's definitely because of money." Lin Suyin said, "What can Chow Kaiyu have? Other than money, I'm afraid Chow Kaiyu has nothing else." Su Yun nodded. "Maybe. But even if it's for money, there must be a reason for it. For people who live in seclusion in the mountains and forests, money shouldn't be that important to him." "Maybe you think too highly of him. Maybe it's not what you think," Yongqi said. "Now that society is developing so quickly, the attraction of the outside world is too great for many people. People's yearning for money has become more and more important. This is an indisputable fact. I hope I'm not wrong." Su Yun smiled slightly. Those who practice the flying ape fist are all martial arts fanatics. This was something that Wang Yi had talked to him about before. The current society was indeed not the same as before. In the past, there were martial arts fanatics in every sect. Now, no one was that stupid. However, those who practice the flying ape fist must be martial arts fanatics. Because to practice the flying ape fist, one must hide in the mountains and forests and be accompanied by apes all day long. If one couldn't resist the temptation of the outside world, it would be impossible to practice it. Therefore, Su Yun felt that this person was a martial arts fanatic. A martial arts fanatic had no desire for money or anything else. A martial arts fanatic's desire was always their own strength. No matter if it was a powerful master or an ordinary master, as long as they were martial arts fanatics, they would constantly pursue breakthroughs. That was the realm of a martial arts fanatic. If Su Yun's guess was right, this long-haired young man must have some special reason to work by Chow Kaiyu's side. Otherwise, there was no other reason. Chapter 23:12. Young Qi was very upset about everything that happened today. She didn't expect that she couldn't even protect it for a minute, or even less. Su Yun had just given it to her, and she threw it away, which made her feel very disappointed and sad. All of this made Yang Qi feel very lost, and she put all the blame on herself. Su Yun could see Yang Qi's thoughts. When she returned to her room, he immediately followed her. He couldn't let Yang Qi bear so much psychological pressure. Yang Qi couldn't be blamed at all. She didn't have the ability to compete with the people of Sky's Eye. The people of Sky's Eye could take things from her easily. He was the main person responsible for this matter, but he didn't realize the danger. If he wanted to blame someone, he could only blame Chow Kaiyu for making things so complicated. If Chow Kaiyu didn't stir things up, everything wouldn't be so complicated. It was all this bastard's fault for insisting on getting a share of the loot from their hands and pestering them shamelessly. Now they had to face a very dangerous guy. If this dangerous guy wasn't dealt with in time, they would never be able to have peace and peace. This person was the long-haired young man beside Chow Kaiyu. This long-haired young man was definitely a ticking time bomb. No one knew when it would suddenly explode. Today's matter is not something you can control. You don't have to be so depressed. It's my fault for not judging things clearly. Su-yun, I didn't expect Sky's Eye to escape from Hong Kong so quickly and come to Taiwan to continue causing trouble for us. If I could have been more careful, maybe this wouldn't have happened. It's because I wasn't careful enough that this happened. It's my fault for not being able to protect it well. Yang Qi said, I know you want to comfort me, but you don't have to. I can bear all of this. Su-yun smiled, it's not your fault. You don't have to bear anything. I'm a police officer. I should be prepared at all times. I didn't think that Sky's Eye would appear again. This is my dereliction of duty. Yang Qi said, if I have another chance, I will definitely seize it. But, will Sky's Eye give us another chance? No man is a saint. How can there be no mistakes? Su-yun said, the heavenly eye will definitely show some flaws. As long as the heavenly eye shows a flaw, we can take it back. Su-yun said, now that the Three Lotus Association has sealed off all the places where we can go out to sea, even Heaven's Eye won't be able to leave so easily. Yang Qi nodded. I really hope nothing will happen. After all, the Ebola virus weapon is still in their hands. Say, if we push the people from Heaven's Eye too far, will they do something reckless? Su-yun shook his head. He did not know why, but from his interactions with Chong Mo, he felt that the Eye of Heaven was not as heartless and terrifying as the legend said. The Eye of Heaven's Eye had indeed done many things that seemed very dangerous. It was one of the most dangerous organizations in the world. However, the Eye of Heaven's Eye had never targeted ordinary civilians. They had never committed any atrocities. All the violence they did was targeted at criminals. This made Su-yun very confused. Especially after the two incidents in Hong Kong and Macau were over, Su-yun was even more confused about what the Eye of Heaven's Eye wanted to do. He could not understand the Eye of Heaven's Eye's behavior at all. Especially that girl, Chong Mo, who actually had the mind to help others in the business street in Mong Kok. This was really something that Su-yun could not imagine. In those two incidents, the Eye of Heaven's Eye dealt with people who deserved to die. This was also something that Su-yun could not understand. He carefully thought about what the Eye of Heaven's Eye had done before. The deaths that they had planned in Dongying were basically all caused by the extremists in Dongying. Those who had raised the flag of the emperor and still wanted to restore Dongying's democracy had all died tragically in the hands of the Eye of Heaven. In the riots in the north and south, the most serious casualties were all caused by the drug lords. They were all unlucky people who controlled the entire drug empire in South America. Even the drug king of the United States had fallen. Although he did not die, it was said that he was now in a vegetative state. He could no longer do such heinous things. In Western Europe, the Eye of Heaven's Eye had not only destroyed the weapons center that did not follow the international regulations and developed prohibited weapons, but also caused a lot of headaches for the European mafia families. No one knew what the Eye of Heaven's Eye was doing. They only knew that the things they did were terrifying. However, no one thought about it carefully. In the end, they only harmed the interests of those who committed crimes. For ordinary people, there was no threat or harm. This was Su-yun's new understanding of the Eye of Heaven's Eye. If they had not met and fought in Hong Kong and Macau, Su-yun might never have understood this matter. Now, he definitely had a new understanding of the Eye of Heaven's Eye. This understanding made him feel that it was extraordinary and had a different meaning. Although I know that the Eye of Heaven's Eye is very extreme, they are not so extreme that they would do anything to ordinary people. Therefore, the Ebola virus is relatively safe in their hands. Su-yun, on the contrary, this kind of thing might be the real danger in Chow Kai-yu's hands. Then what should we do now? Yang Qi said. Su-yun, I think we should be more careful of Chow Kai-yu. If something like this happens again, you must keep an eye on Chow Kai-yu. This person is very cunning, and we don't know what he is thinking. Then the person beside him. I will think of a way to deal with that person. Su-yun, he is definitely not a person who has experienced too much of the secular world. I have no idea why he is like this. Then what do you want to do? Yang Qi was a little puzzled. Su Yun smiled. Of course I'm going to meet him and have a good chat with him. I absolutely believe that he's not a vicious person. If that's the case, Brother Dong would have died a violent death long ago. With Brother Dong's strength, there is no way he can withstand the shock of the internal injuries caused by Yuan Fei's full-force punch. Yang Qi took a deep breath. It turned out that the long-haired young man was actually so powerful. She thought that he was just a little stronger. She really didn't think that he could defeat Wu Yuandong so easily, and even kill him. Su Yun's words shocked Yang Qi greatly. Then, if you fight with him, will you be in danger? Yang Qi asked. Su Yun nodded. Of course there will be danger. No one will have a good time after being hit by Yuan Fei's fist. Yuan Fei's fist will definitely cause internal injuries. Brother Dong will probably have to recuperate for the next few days. Then you must be careful. Yang Qi said. I will. Su Yun smiled. You rest early, I will go back first. Yang Qi bit her lower lip and nodded. She really didn't want Su Yun to be in danger. She just wanted to end all of this quickly. Su Yun left Yang Qi's room and went upstairs to his room. Lin Suyin was waiting for him in the room. You came back so soon, didn't you talk for a while? Lin Suyin said, You are really considerate. I can see that Yang Qi is in a very low mood today, so you quickly went to coax her. Yes. Yang Qi's mood is indeed a little too low. Su Yun, tomorrow, tell Brother Dong not to let him participate in this matter. I'm afraid his physical condition won't be able to bear it. Lin Suyin nodded with a heavy heart. I can see that too. I just talked to him about this problem, but he said that the person beside Xiao Kaiyu is too dangerous. He doesn't want you to face it alone, so he can't go home to rest. But he can't help even if he stays here. Su Yun, you can rest assured that I will solve the potential danger that person brings. Thank you for today. If it weren't for your help, I might not even have the chance to go into the water. Why are you so polite? Lin Suyin said, Do you not think of yourself as one of us, or do you not think of us as one of you? That's not what I meant. Su Yun, I'm just really grateful to all of you. In the face of so much trouble, you still helped me without hesitation. Lin Suyin stood up very seriously, her right hand gently brushing Su Yun's cheek. Because if it weren't for you, the Three Lotus Association would have been long gone. So no matter the price, I will help you, always help you. I will support you in everything. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.